Damn it! Ah! Ah!
closest friend. The allies you hope to escape with. You are too late. I caught the traitor just before you arrived.
update vlog. I've been holding out on you. I've been waiting to do this because I thought a year review was in good time for the holidays to do. It's been quite the year. I don't know if you've noticed. It's probably been the most insane year of my life. Literally, so many things just got completely switched upside down. Lost a lot of friends. Lost a lot of things. But I'm looking back on 2017 and it doesn't feel negative. It doesn't feel like necessarily a bad thing. And I will try and explain why. At around this time last year, I made a video saying that I was going to delete my channel at 50 million. We're at 58 million now, by the way. Thank you very much. I know you're going to think I'm joking right now, but I'm going to delete my channel. I swear to you, at 50 million subs, we hit 50 million. Huge landmark coming. Huge deal. Never been done before. No one's even close. I am deleting it. So dramatic. I'm gonna delete my channel at 60 million, guys. I promise. It's definitely going to happen. That was sort of a joke, but at the same time, I didn't feel like that was necessarily the case. I really felt like I wanted to delete my channel because I was so stuck in between all these business side of YouTube. You didn't see a fraction of it, but for me to do YouTube every single day, upload daily videos, and still be going on trips for all of these different events, going on trip for business stuff, having calls every single day talking about, you know, Rebel mode and all these things I was working on, and working on Scare PewDiePie, being away for a month. I was so burned out, and I know, boo-hoo me, right? I put myself in that situation, but I realized this is not, I'm stuck here, and this is not what I want. I just want to make videos. What the hell happened? I literally went through like an actual mental breakdown. It just got too much for me, and I think I have a really strong mental psyche. Like, I can handle more shit than most people. I feel confident saying that, but it really got to me at that point, and I'm not trying to get brown like points. Like, that's not the case. So when all this stuff happened in February, when all the stuff about me being a Nazi came out, some things of it was awful. The fact that Scare PewDiePie Season 2 got cancelled just sucked. And in retrospect, it still doesn't make any sense. So many people worked on that show. It's really, it's a shame for everyone that involved, and I'm really sorry. But it also got me out of all these things that I didn't even enjoy working on at the time. I was so fed up with it. So it was sort of a blessing in disguise. And this year in general, the main thing throughout all these bad things happening, I regained so much support from you guys. And it's something that I never thought I would get back. I had sort of given up on the idea that my fans were really gonna have this sense of community. And, you know, for all these bad things, to trade that, I would take it. It's just been amazing. Then the apocalypse happened. Oh boy. And I vowed to go family friendly. The problem here is something that that worked out great, didn't it? To be honest, when the apocalypse happened, I did get hit really hard. It was a time of panic because all of a sudden none of your videos you're not getting any income. With all the Wall Street stuff happening, my CPM, which is like my average income thing, dropped because I was kicked out of YouTube. What is it called? Their special ad program or whatever. But then I realized, hey, I can literally just put one extra mid-roll in the video and it doesn't make any difference. I actually don't lose anything. And so I started doing that as a way to, like, you know what, F you, Wall Street, you're not gonna make me go down, you know? It's not that I need the money, it was more like I want to show them that this is not going to affect me in any way. So in case you're wondering why there's a mid-roll, there you go. At the end of the day, I used to have an office, I used to have a bunch of people working for me. but I also realized I didn't want that. I used to have like a secretary helping me get coffee. And, like, I don't really feel comfortable letting other people do stuff for me. It really wasn't what I wanted at all. So I just panicked. I got super sick, like the worst sickness of my life, and I decided to, hey, I can just record from this place. It's so much more convenient. I don't have to have other people in the other room when I record. This is how I started making videos, in this room, and that's how I want to keep it. I want to keep it simple. I would always say like, oh, YouTube is the best because you get just me, and it's not me and a producer and a writer. But I had all these people helping me do all this stuff, and it really felt like I was getting against what I was so spoken about before. So I got really sick, and then this Jake Paul stuff came out, and it was like the best. That was like the best thing that could happen. Because I had something to just make a video of right away when I was away, which is always nice. And this is when I decided I'm gonna grow a beard. Keep trying to roast my beard. I made a video called I'm Tired of Trying, where I basically talked that I really used to be very focused on trends. I used to be very focused on like how well a video did. That would take up a lot of my mind space. I think most YouTubers think like that. I realized I don't want to shape my channel that way. I want to do what I want to do. I want to make the kind of videos that I enjoy making, and that has been my mindset for the past couple months, and it's just turned out so much better. You know, whether it's me talking about something that I enjoy, like whiskey, that for me has just been really fun. I've been enjoying just sharing stuff that I like, and I think you guys have as well, and it's been really fun to, and it's such a better way of making videos. Maybe it doesn't get as many views, but it's more fun, and I would rather watch someone talk about stuff that they like than fucking play a game that they don't really enjoy. I started doing these Why videos where I react to your Reddit stuff, and that was just the best idea ever. I know it's like a meme that it's not original content and it's or whatever, but it really came back the sort of community on the channel. Seeing your humor and my humor sort of collide into different type of memes. It's so cool and so fun, and I love it so much. I love that we have a community on this channel rather than just me just doing random bullshit, playing random games. I'm really proud of that, and I'm really proud that we are at this point where we are, and really thanks to everyone for posting in these. Started doing You Laugh, You Loses, which was also this kind of thing where like people didn't like in the beginning. They were like, "Were you just looking at other people's clips about Ray William Johnson?" Oh Jesus! What the fuck? I enjoyed it. It's like I enjoyed making them. They were fun. I love laughing at these stupid clips. So why shouldn't I make them? And I'm really glad I kept doing them because I think you guys actually really liked them too. Oh man! And I started streaming because I was really into PUBG, and I don't think before I was so preoccupied with YouTube, I had literally no other interest. It was YouTube or nothing. That was all that was in my head 24/7 a day. So I allowed myself to enjoy other things and actually playing games again on my spare time, and that's why I enjoyed streaming so much. This is the day before the slip up. I hate how it's a fucking unfair, dude. Shoot me. Shoot me.
We do not need protection from the outside.
Where is this Nibba?
We need protection from what we are creating here. Fuck you!
Then the slip up happened, and
gain control.
definitely, you know, once a year, not even more. Once every 10 years, not even. This time it was sort of different because I felt personally responsible. I felt like, you know, this is my fault. I shouldn't even become this, and that's what I did. And I'm really glad for all the support I still got, even though I clearly fucked up. But I'm glad to accept my apology, and I was able to pass it. I really started making videos that just about stuff that fascinated me, like Chris Chan, or just talking about memes. Or it's not original content. Yes, I know, but I love talking about these things. I love sharing these things. And I think it's so much more interesting to hear someone talk about something they're interested in. And that's just been my approach. Would I ever make a fucking Star Wars review in 2016? Hell no. But did I really have a lot of thoughts about the movie that I wanted to share? Yes, and that's why I did it. And I think it's such a better approach. I'm so happy I stuck to it. So much has changed this year. But at the end of the year, I am so much happier. I'm so glad I'm here. Finally, internet is going to be installed on the 22nd. Maybe that has happened already. Even me just keeping my beard. Because it's the kind of thing where everyone in the comments will tell you just shave. And I'm like, well, I like the beard. I'm going to keep it. It's really, I know it sounds stupid, but I really think I'm really proud of myself for gaining a lot more confidence in myself to resist what other people say I should do or how other people tell me how to do things. It's so easy to listen to comments. I really think everyone does. I think at the end of the day, people appreciate that you are you and not just a product of what other people want you to be. That sounded a lot deeper than I meant it to be. I'm also just really grateful that I can keep making videos at this point. You look at anyone else that's been #1 on YouTube, and it's practically a dead channel, and they didn't last very long. So for me, at this point, to still be relevant enough that people care what I say and what I do and click on my videos, that really means the world to me. Because I still very much enjoy videos. I get so many haters saying like, oh, if I was PewDiePie, I would just quit making videos. He already made millions. What an idiot. Maybe I'm passionate about it. Maybe I still enjoy it. It's like, I really think 2017 was the year where I lost a lot of support from YouTube, but it's the year where I regained the support. And that I will never forget, because I went through so many changes, so it felt like so many of my fans hated me or whatever. I'm just so glad that finally we have a community, and finally, again, finally we have, I have people that, I really feel like there's people that support me. I really do. So thank you. It's been, despite all the downsides, it's been an amazing year, and I'm really proud and happy looking back. Believe me, you learn from your mistakes, and that's just life. That's life. Boom reference, everybody. Thank you to everyone for hanging out with me this year. Can't wait for next one. And as always, squad fam. Should we do a bromance? I'll let it slide this time. Movie review. I'm sorry. Okay, I wasn't planning to make more. But have you watched the new Star Wars? Oh my god! I'm the biggest Star Wars fan ever! I'm not really that big of a Star Wars fan. Seeing all the following and excitement for this latest film, I was actually pretty excited about seeing it as well. But while watching the film, I find myself just not enjoying it. I thought it was really bad. But then I go, Felix, this is Star Wars.
Holy shit!
Everyone loves Star Wars. Stop being such a cynic and enjoy the film. So I keep watching. But then, out of nowhere, comes a joke so bad that it makes your whole face just turn inside out. Bah! No, Felix, this is Star Wars. It's got 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. If you don't like this movie, then there is something wrong with you, okay? There is clearly something wrong. You don't know how to criticize a movie, Felix. That's why you don't... stick to your meme reviews, Felix. You don't like Star Wars. So I keep watching. Okay, maybe... there's one bad joke. It doesn't matter. I love Star Wars. And another joke. Oh god, what was that? Was that even a joke? What the hell? Ah, another joke! Oh, God damn it. You know a movie has bad humor if I'm the one criticizing it for bad humor. Movie review. It felt like the Lily Ponds of comedy. Just people getting hurt and you're expected to go, that's funny. He got hurt, he fell. I see so many people defending this movie online, despite the 94% critic review. How does this movie have 94%? How? Don't get me wrong, it wasn't bad, but 94%? Jesus Christ. So many people want to like this film so badly, and seeing people's reaction to it and defending it is hilarious to me. I found this tweet, and I've seen a lot of people say the same thing. Man, a second viewing of The Last Jedi really did the trick. Turned me from a like to a lover. I love the movie now. But really, once you've seen the movie 6 times, that's when it starts to get good, okay? I've seen reviewers not wanting to give the movie a rating right away because they want to like it so badly. They want to make sure that they like it. What movie will you give that sort of criticism to? How do you not show incredible bias by admitting to that? Like how are you a reviewer if you need to watch it twice to give it a review? I've seen some people deflecting, saying, okay, well, if you didn't like Star Wars, that means you hate social justice. And yes, that's true, I do. But I didn't mind it in this film. I thought it was alright. It didn't take me away from anything. I didn't care. It was nice to see a strong female lead. It was nice to see a more diverse cast, even though I hate forced diverse casting. I thought it was alright. I see so many people doing what I like to call Twitter Rick and Morty deflecting, where someone or something is raising criticism and it's all just thrown away by nitpicking one of the many valid criticisms it's getting and just reducing that down to some sort of lower IQ. It's as the cast said, Ryan treats the audience as if they are intelligent and can work things out for themselves. Some need to realize that the film cannot do everything for you. To be fair, you need extremely high level of IQ to understand Star Wars. When the pod hits the windshield of the Millennium Falcon, that is saying something deeper about life. If you didn't like Star Wars, that's because you don't like social justice. If you don't like Star Wars, that's because you're a fanboy. It's like, no, none of these things apply. I just thought it was... To put it simple, I didn't like the film because the characters felt hollow. The movie completely ignored common sense to further the plot in a way that I think the most forgiving fan would still cringe internally in disbelief. The comedy was so out of place, it felt like I was watching Avengers, and I think switching directors mid-through in a trilogy had the effect of all the setup from the previous film being completely thrown out the window. Now, I didn't dislike everything about the film. I thought the CGI was really cool. There were some scenes that were just mind-blowingly amazing to look at. I was like, wow, hey Marge, that's pretty cool, isn't it? I really like Kylo Ren and Rey's character, and I think the movie would have been a lot better if they just focused on them. But let's get into all the bad stuff. First of all, the comedy. My God. The movie started off with General Hux, which in the first film was a very serious character. He was almost like the reincarnation of Hitler. All of a sudden being, in this movie, in the very first scene, comic relief. It didn't make any sense at all, and as a viewer, you were completely taken out of the film. There was this weird prank call with a pilot trying to distract him. It felt like I was watching Austin Powers or some Saturday Night Live skit of a parody of Star Wars. Fine, you know what? If you want to make that joke, fine. But changing a character's personality completely for the sake of a joke? Why? Then there's the porgs, those cute little penguin things. I like them. I thought they were alright. I knew people were gonna hate them, but they were funny. They were cute, and I like them. And I will buy 5 of them. 6 of them. All of them. I'll buy all of them. There was one bit with the porgs where Chewbacca is in the Millennium Falcon and the porgs are in his cockpit, and one of them is wearing this like headset thing. It looks like he's wearing a VR headset, and it was very cute, him doing that, and it was very funny, him doing that, but it didn't make any sense, him doing that. I realize I'm probably nitpicking here. My point is, I don't mind the jokes. I hated how they went out of their way to make the jokes. By having the porg wearing this VR thing, you're taken out of the universe because it feels like a cartoon kind of joke. It felt like it was something from Space Jam where it didn't really make sense, but it was still funny. Constant ignoring common sense for the sake of jokes. There was this bit that actually made me laugh where Rey is training with a lightsaber. She cuts up this piece of the cliff, goes down, and destroys the wagon, which one of the space nuns was carrying. It was funny because it was unexpected, and my mother was ready for it. And I laughed. It was funny. But then you're thinking, what if that she would legit have been murdered? Rey would have been a murderer. It was so close. If that happened to me, I'd be traumatized. I'd be like shocked. I'd be like, sorry, Space Nut. And I can't believe I did this. But it was more important that we'd had this little joke. That the lily punch. Oh! The guy hooked by Rey. That's right. And the last joke that I remember, it wasn't even really a joke. I can't tell if it was a joke or not. But Luke Skywalker goes down to the beach. We follow him. He's been living on this island. And I remember I whispered to my sister, I wonder how is he on the island? And right as that happened, he literally just catches a fish out of nowhere. It was badass, it was cool, it was awesome. And I was like, oh, okay, that's how it works. You know, I got that question, internal question answered, and that was nice. But then Luke goes down to the beach, and I saw something truly horrible. There's this space walrus sitting down like this, and he grabs a pacifier, and he milks the space walrus. And then he takes a huge chug of the space walrus milk going down his face, and then he goes, Luke Skywalker. This is how I will always remember Luke Skywalker, the most beloved character, the man who chugs down alien titty milk like. The second criticism which I had was the characters feeling hollow, mainly because you had so many amazing characters in the film. Rey, Kylo Ren, Finn. In the first movie, they were so cool to me. I couldn't wait to see what else they were gonna do with them. You know, you had Finn, a stormtrooper, turned rogue. They sort of hinted that he had the Force in the first movie as well. But in this one, someone apparently won a competition to be part of the Star Wars film and had to hang out with Finn the whole time. I swear to God, this girl made no sense. Their romance and story was the most worst romance I have ever seen in Star Wars. Yes. Force, Padme, and Anakin. Seeing them kiss in the end was like watching someone kiss their sister. It was disgusting. So basically, Finn and Rose go to this planet to help the other people, and they don't help the other people, and it's really just 30 minutes of them criticizing capitalism and how bad it is. Yes, that's right, it is criticizing capitalism. Oh my God, what was the point of the planet? What was the point? It didn't lead to anything. It didn't lead to anything. Nothing happened out of it. Number 3, my favorite bit was how much it ignored common sense. The last bit, which is how much the movie ignored common sense to further the story. You have this big, giant enemy fleet. You have the small, good guy fleet. They can't keep up with each other, so they're just following each other. Why didn't the big guys send out smaller ships to shoot the good guys? Rey didn't go through any Jedi training, but could do stop force pushes, use the lightsaber, lift rocks. She could do anything without any training. Okay, fine. Okay. Purple hair lady gets the question, the simple question. They're all gonna die on this ship, right? Purple hair lady is in command, and everyone's like, purple hair lady, excuse me, what is the plan? We are all very dying. And she doesn't tell anyone what the plan is, for the sake of the audience not knowing what her plan is. And it just leads to all this trouble for no reason. She could have just told everyone what her plan was. Then she knew she was gonna die in the end. She didn't do anything. She just watched all her friends get blown up. But then, all of a sudden, it just clicked in her head. Hey, I'm gonna crash into them with my ship. I'm gonna kamikaze into the bad guys. But I am only gonna realize this after a lot of my friends have died.
Oh shit!
Because I was too busy making sure my purple hair was purple. What? They killed off Admiral Akbar of the Star Wars franchise. What a classic meme. And as a meme appreciator myself, seeing him barely getting acknowledged was heartbreaking. You didn't get to see him die. They just say, hey, Admiral Akbar,
what the fuck is
dead. Why not? Why is the purple hair Admiral Akbar? Him being crashing into the enemy ship, which would have been an emotional ending to his character. It would have been an emotional setup to one of the coolest scenes in the film where you see the ship crashing. And it would have been so cool. I think that's why I'm so bothered with this film, because it just felt like a massive simple things he could have changed things. And it could have been an amazing film, but it wasn't. I don't know why all these critics are lying. So you have this shit crashing into the enemy ship, and somehow Ben and Rose escaping from this ship in the escape pod. They are already in the escape pod. They barely make it into the planet. Meanwhile, the same ship have unloaded like 7 of these TIE fighters, whatever they're called, and cannon on the ground, faster than they could just fly the ship there. The movie just went, we're on the planet now, and everyone is here. And it was just like, what? It was so incredibly rushed. And this planet was so cool. They have like the salt on it, and then all the red underneath. It was dope. They clearly gave a lot. Someone really brilliant came up with this idea that it was gonna look really visually cool, but it was never utilized properly because they clearly ran out of time because we spent 30 minutes on the goddamn casino planet. Last but not least, I think switching directors midway through a trilogy was a terrible idea, and clearly anything that was set up from the first film was thrown out the window for the second one because the directors had different ideas on what was important, and it just made the whole thing a mess to me. Instead, the movie gets praised for reinventing Star Wars, when in reality, it's just a mess. I'm fine with reinventing Star Wars, just don't do it midway through a trilogy, right? Tell me how that makes any sense. For me, this really turned me off Star Wars again. How many times are you gonna get let down until you say, you know what, at this point, I don't really care anymore? And I think that's where I am. The movie has already made 220 million. So, in everyone's eyes, it's a massive success. So clearly nothing's gonna change. But I found it really funny to see how people were so desperate to defend it, even though it's objectively bad. It's just a matter of wanting to not look at all these bad things and just focusing on all the good ones. And if you did that, and you managed to get enjoyment out of that, then fair play to you. I don't want people to not like it, but for me, it was impossible to watch this film when all this shit was happening in the background and just be like,
Holy
yeah,
shit.
that was really good. I've seen it 6 times now, and it's actually got really nice. I always tend to be more critical when I want things to be better and when I know things could have been better. And I definitely think that was the case for The Last Jedi. I wouldn't consider myself a fan of Star Wars before this film, and I'm 100% off the train after this film. I'm gonna give it 3.5 out of 10. Thanks for leaving a like. I imagine that this will be appreciate it. Let's get this to trending. Squad fam.
We'll go ahead and talk about the top 10 reasons why Star Wars The Last Jedi sucks or pisses me off. Now, yeah, that's inflammatory language, and we just got downloaded to hell by Star Wars fans, but we are also Star Wars fans. We also buy all the same shit you buy. So here is just a different perspective, and this is why Star Wars is fun, because we can discuss it together.
Because people are generally in agreement with what I was saying.
Oh, yeah?
A lot of people are straight up unhappy with it.
No, dude, that has like, critics are loving it. It's like,
Critics love it, but if you look at the audience ratings, it's Rotten Tomatoes like 56%.
what? I see, yeah, because I saw it at like 94% critics, and then something like 70% audience. And I looked at it now,
It's less than, but it's worth saying too.
Right.
There's genuine opinions.
Right. So now we're going to give our genuine opinions on the movie. Here we go. Number 10. Okay. Actually, I am going to take number 10, and I'm going to save it for last. Okay. Because I think there are so many reasons within number 10 we're going to lose track. So basically, number 10 is the plot holes. Oh my God, the plot holes. But you need to wait on that. Okay, that's the juicy bits that we'll get to later. So, number 9. Too many dropped subplots from Force Awakens. Okay? And what do I mean by that? Well, let's start with the very one at the top. It just seems like the first Order is now in control of the entire galaxy.
Somehow. They went from one base to the entire galaxy.
Yeah.
Not only one base, they got blown up.
Yeah. We blew up that base! So there's supposed to be some measure of winning, but no, in actuality, we were in complete despair and we were hanging by the thread of our teeth, like, apparently.
Yeah.
So it just seems like Rian Johnson didn't really understand the state of the galaxy. Because just because the capital planet is destroyed in the Republic doesn't necessarily mean that the entire Republic falls apart, the New Republic. But I guess that's what he wants us to believe. That because they use Starkiller Base, that now the galaxy is so scared that because the Resistance fleet is obliterated, most of the fleet, and various planets blew up, they don't want to blow up next, so everybody just joins the First Order, and now the entire galaxy is controlled by the First Order. Exactly. And that atrocity is something that would rally people against that. So originally it's supposed to be the New Republic and the Resistance. They're not the same thing. But yet in this film it's kind of confused and drawn into. And they start referring to themselves as rebels again. Because you can't rebel against something that's not in power. The First Order is just a remnant of the Empire, not the ones that in power. But you can excuse that little bit. But there are other dropped subplots from Force Awakens. Like, the Knights of Ren aren't here, so that plot point is dropped. I was really going forward to that show as a whole. Yeah, we'll talk about that at a greater. That is a huge reason. Luke for being on Oct 2 in The Force Awakens, Han Solo speculated that after Ben turned to the dark side, Luke left to find the first Jedi temple. And even in this film, Luke says that you think I came here for no reason.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. But apparently, it turns out the only reason he did later on in the film. Yeah, we got another fucking thing for you, Phasma. We got a whole reason devoted to you. But no, I say the only reason he gives in the film later on is I came here to die. So what the fuck? So why then did he create the map in R2D2 to lead people?
He made like this huge puzzle.
in
It was
case
like,
he's needed.
When it's direly
If he's just
needed,
going
you know
there to
where
die.
find
He
me.
wants a proper location.
Oh, he wants
So
to.
hey, after I die, get my body. Give me a nice little funeral, guys.
the people came there to find him because he said, you know,
Yeah.
and they came and they found him.
And he's like, go away.
The way that they did it, they made it designed so that he knew that whoever found the map was brought to him by the Force, and it was like a really significant thing. So he did like all these puzzle pieces of the map. He's like, when you find me, we'll save the universe type of thing. And then they get there, and he's like, I'm old, leave me alone. I don't want to help.
And that's another big reason as we climb this list on the way Luke behaves. So there are a bunch more plot lines that were dropped from Force Awakens, and you can put those in the comments, but it's time to move on to the next reason. The next reason is far too much humor in this film. For a darker film. This is actually a much darker film than Force Awakens, yet the humor here is way more, and it doesn't seem to even work.
I appreciate humor.
Yeah.
Like I love the Marvel films because they have even more, but they make it work. In this, a lot of the humor felt out of place.
Like what? Name one scene that you were supposed to laugh at that you didn't.
The whole fucking scene with Rose and Finn in the casino.
Okay, yeah, we've got, hold on, we got a whole reason devoted to that, but I'll give you some example jokes, right? So, let's see, Poe and Hux, at the very beginning of the film, you know when Poe is fucking around with Hux on the intercom? That's supposed to be this tense moment, right, of them communicating, and it turned it into a joke. So from that point, I was like, you know what, okay, fine, right? Yeah, maybe a little funny here. But as we continue to get that, even during other scenes, the whole, like you said, the whole casino scene is just an extended CGI creatures acting silly with opera singers, you know, stupid shit. It felt like the prequels there, but you know, that's something else. And then how about, I can't believe you motherfuckers forgot about this, Luke jerking off creatures.
I didn't forget.
Oh my god,
Like
no.
milking
I
them.
forced that out of my mind.
And he was,
Yeah, I was
and he's
trying
like
to.
suckling on the nipple.
And they like
Okay,
zoomed in on the teats, and he was like,
yeah. And then,
yeah.
and even better is that creature looks over at Ray and is like, "Sup?"
You want some?
Sup?
What was that about?
What the fuck was that about?
The blue milk, man.
Was that blue milk? It looked like green milk.
Green milk.
Blue, whatever. It was weird.
Yeah, also another example, Flynn leaking from all his holes and that being comedic relief, but I didn't laugh at all. And then there was another part where the whole audience laughed, and I asked Joe, I was like, what are they laughing at? And Joe goes, I don't know. And later on we discussed it. When Finn... What?
I have no idea. They were laughing.
Yeah. When Finn got on, when they infiltrated the ship, they took their clothes off, or there were clothes on tables, or what was it, Joe?
It was basically like they had Imperial's like suits, and there's a little pressing machine that looked like a ship.
Yeah, they made it for everyone.
Oh.
Like a ship.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh,
they
I
went down
I must have missed
and
it.
pressed on their suits, and
Yeah.
everyone's like, ah.
Okay, cool. So, but what I'm saying is, half of the jokes I didn't laugh at, and Force Awakens is a surprisingly humorous film, and I laughed at almost every single joke in Force Awakens. It was well written here. Here it seems like Rian Johnson or the writers just didn't have that good of a grasp on the humor. It was more goofy, inappropriate. Every time there was a poignant moment, it kind of had to be accentuated or deflated by a stupid joke.
They would just cut to something that was funny. Like
Yeah, cutting.
You'd
Lot
go,
of cuts.
you go to the mutiny, and, or like one of the really serious parts is like, okay, stuff's happening, and then we jump to another part, like another scene, or like on a different planet, and it would just be humor.
Yeah.
Like jumping to Chewbacca messing with the porgs or whatever. It was like, why? Why are you?
No, that one I liked when Chewbacca finally said, "I'm enough of this shit," because the porgs are up on his fucking. They're making a home. And another joke that did work is the porg, Chewbacca eating it.
Yeah.
I mean, he fucking killed it, cooked it. Just eat it. The porgs being all fucking gooey, doughy-eyed. All right, so moving on. There is number 7. Hit our button.
Oh god.
It doesn't even say anything. Okay, so and that's kind of the result of Phasma. The death of Phasma, guys. What'd you think of this?
They said he had a favorite part.
Kathleen Kennedy said that. No.
Oh, I thought
Yeah, I thought you
I thought their entire thing is they were like, we're in the Boba Fett series. And I was like, awesome, okay, should be really cool.
And
They kind of did.
she literally did.
Yeah.
In fact,
Too much, I guess.
yeah. She's actually more disappointing than the original Boba Fett.
Fucking Brianna Tarr.
Yeah, she's a Gwendolyn Christie's a great actress, and you completely 100% fucking wasted her. It was really a betrayal, and they played this up so much because it was a female stormtrooper in a position of leadership. And, yeah, girl power. Don't worry, girls, she's gonna have a bigger role in the next one. Well, what does she have? Well, she somehow makes it out of the trash compactor. I have no fucking idea because the Starkiller base blows up, right? And the only remnant is she has like blood streaks on her. Or what was that on the top of her helmet? Maybe I was seeing a reflection of something else. But you know, every opportunity she has to see Finn, who she hates, and this is this frankly disappointing and overblown subplot between her subordinate being disobedient and her wanting to beat him up or something, and instead of fucking shooting him at every fucking opportunity, she switched to hand-to-hand combat. And she's like, bring out the axes! Oh, we don't have axes, ma'am. The laser axes. This is Star Wars.
She became
Yeah, good point.
She didn't even ever further the plot. She just was a completely pointless character that, like, nothing she did felt well integrated into the story. And
But she was bulletproof, Dell.
She got
She was
shot.
the only stormtrooper that was bulletproof. That's why she was chrome dome, you know?
Chrome deflects lasers.
But
Why
so-
didn't they just give everybody that kind of uniform?
Yeah.
No, she was
They don't have enough of that material. So she falls into a pit of fire. No, she's not.
I think
There's no way. There's no fucking way. Right. So they're gonna do it twice in a row. They're not gonna fucking bring her back.
Did you see her die?
Yeah, flames just engulfed her body, and she fell into the crack of the.
Jesus!
Yeah, fallen.
I mean, look, this lightsaber can fall off a giant building, land into a gas planet, and somehow be perfectly fine. And they
Phasma
recover
alive.
She's fine, man.
Phasma is fucking dead. Huge wasted opportunity. And fuck you, Disney, for that shit. And Rain Johnson and the Rise of the Last Jedi. But you could have done anything with her. You could have done anything else with her, or set her up in a different position. Instead, you set it up so that BB-8 can have this big scene where he's like shooting people in ATST and shooting everybody. Well, go for BB-8, but it still looks a little ridiculous. You get this little ball who somehow grows hands and he's controlling all this stuff. No, he can do it. So fine.
She could have had a scene where she like goes to the rebel base, for example, before they bombard it. She could have been walking down the corridor and they were running away from her or something. And instead, she's just like, I'm not even gonna use my gun. I have
It
a
disappears
sword.
from her
you actually
hands.
used her handgun. I'm like, you have a rifle.
Yeah.
It was like a disruptor right
Anyways, so moving on to number 6. Leia floating out in space.
She died.
And then flying Superman back inside the ship. Okay? This shocked me. And I think they were trying to go for this miraculous Leia has power of her own, which is canon. Right. In Return of the Jedi, it's referenced that she has a laser view, and she's force sensitive. There is another, and that's cool, and I liked it. But the way they depicted it here was so ridiculous. The audience started. I was laughing.
I love it. And I hear him go, what? And he just starts laughing, and I was like, that's a lot of stuff.
She flies back into the ship like Superman. Not only that, but then she knocks on the door when she gets there.
And there's no airlock.
The air was immediately sucked out of her lungs. She's dead. The whole thing decompressed. She's dead. She froze to death. She's dead. The explosion brushed all of her body and shrapnel went everywhere. She's dead. and she's got pieces in her body everywhere. She's dead. But no, apparently, I guess
They
right
explain
before
it.
she did a forced bubble.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, right before, and then she floated out in that bubble, and the whole time that we're looking at her, you don't see the bubble.
Nope.
You see her doing this, but you see her cold. So her bubble doesn't protect against temperature. Okay.
Ah!
Okay. So the orthodox. Got it. Okay, so we're trying to explain it for you, Last Jedi here, and she floats back in. But then why does nobody fucking say anything?
Also,
It's like, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
What's that?
Also, when she knocked on the glass and they opened the door, there was no like suppression. The moment that door completely opened into a vacuum, everyone standing on the other side was like, "No!"
I brought that up. Alex said they have
No, I said because they have a shield over there. But then
Only
wait.
their shield.
But then why did the shield not work for the missile
Only
that
their
slammed into the bricks?
No, it's not. No, that's not how. The door's open. It was completely open.
I
They
know.
showed some fog, and it was like, what? No, they would have just been like.
We've
whoop.
seen that in Star Trek before where
Yeah.
this bridge is
Yeah,
shielded,
emergency shield.
but we've not really seen that in Star Wars, so it
Yeah.
would have been nice for them to, you know, kind of fix these things. But anyway, it was a scene that was ridiculous, that was a huge surprise. It was supposed to be a big reveal, but it felt a little cheap, it felt a little manipulative, especially when you have obviously Carrie Fisher passed away, and when I first saw that, I was like, oh, this is how they take her out of the series. And while it was sad, I didn't like it, it was so war. And I was thinking, okay, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. But then all of a sudden, she starts floating back in and she's moved back. Yeah, Jedi. She was a Jedi. How was what? Wait a minute. How did she learn how to do this? How did she learn how to do this? She's completely untrained. Is this canon though? Or was that
We
obliterated?
don't know. Everything gets obliterated all the time.
See, Jill could have done a better job to set a lot of this stuff up. Somebody could have said, well, she was, you know, after she got up, you know, and blasted the door open herself, you know, when Finn is, or Poe is acting like an idiot and making a bunch of mistakes on the bridge and blasting it. I mean, somebody could have said something to her afterwards, like, you are leader of everybody. You truly are our prophet or whatever, and then she shuts them down immediately. I think she's
Yeah, exactly.
you know what I mean? Because she loves self-deprecating humor. She likes to say, like, no, what are you looking at me for?
Oh, we also have to point out that Admiral Akbar died in that.
Yeah, let's give a moment of silence to Admiral Akbar, who nobody gave a shit about.
No, never did anything.
And then he floated out.
Greatest war general.
Yeah, man, that's fucking why, Leia, why didn't you put your bubble over you and fucking Akbar? For the love of God. Alright, anyway, moving on to number 5. And this one's a big one for me, but there are ones above it. Rey's parents' lineage finally answered. Rey's parents are nobody.
After
really-
years.
After
years.
what's that?
I was really, I really.
No, he's not lying.
Well-
I mean, he's like, search your feelings. You know it to be true too. His parents are no. Her parents, I guarantee you, her parents are random junkers, and they basically sold her off for some cash and went to go get fucking high and drinking, and flew off and had a great time. And but then I don't know how they're
First movie was that golden ship when they dropped her off and left her in the atmosphere.
Well, no, those are her parents leaving. They sold her. Yeah. So it just feels, it's just so disappointing because this, you know, Kathleen said this is the story of the Skywalkers, you know, Prince Ryan and George Lucas and it's, you know, she's not special anymore. Like, I don't give a fuck anymore. I really don't care. And part of a lot of the things that I was hoping I was defending Rey against everybody, telling Rey is a nurse, Rey is this, Rey is that. Rey because I was like, you don't know her minions. Her minions will explain some of this stuff later on. And I was betrayed. I was fucking betrayed. So what they're trying to say is now you can be anybody and you can become a Jedi. Which was already the case in the lore, to be honest. I mean, if you fucking don't listen to Metaphorians, which I totally get rid of, but I guess it's not point. But I see what they're trying to go with there, but it's disappointing, it's stupid, but it makes sense and he's not lying. You wanna know why? Because I found quotes, and I'll put it up here on screen, of one interview where Rey was like, I think that question was already answered, and Rey and Finn come from nowhere, but she said it real quickly in one line. But if you understand J.J. Abrams specifically, and some people are going to defend it, well, they never set it up that her parents were mysterious. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. J.J. Abrams was fighting against. Why is Rey only Rey? What's her last name? We don't know her last name. Because they're trying to set it up. The whole parent thing, all that theory crafting, all those fucking Star Wars channels, but it's all for fucking nothing. And this is Star Wars. This is a galaxy far, far away. This is having fun and having a good time. And they went for the shitty thing because why? Because it ties into them being able to do non-stop Star Wars films, one fucking Star Wars film every year, because somebody new can always pop up in the galaxy, and that's why Ray Johnson did this new trilogy or in a different part of the galaxy, completely different children who apparently all of a sudden have the most powerful force. Ray is one of the most powerful Jedi, even with zero training. That makes no fucking sense.
I will say the one thing
out of nowhere.
The one thing I'm happy about that a lot of people started coming up because of Battlefront 2 is that her parents are not.
Oh yeah, I'm glad that Battlefront 2 is disconnected. Fuck Battlefront 2. But one thing that you know was undone, and I'll get to that later. Battlefront 2 has more Luke story and actual Luke feeling like Luke than this movie does. Yes, that's Return of the Jedi Luke in Battlefront 2. Fuck no. We'll talk about that later. And that's another thing is that she is not that great of a fighter, weapon fighter. If you go back and look at Force Awakens, when Ninja did this, when she fights off the two smugglers trying to steal BB-8, she's very raw. Later on in the film, she uses the lightsaber, and they actually, if you rewatch it, they do a good job of her style being completely unrefined and wild. Now she starts to get the hang of it more and more, and as she calms down and instead of using anger, she starts to get more confident, then yeah, she can fight a little effectively with it, but her style is still rough. All of a sudden, she flies over to Luke's island, and she's swinging around the lightsaber with 100% accuracy Darth Maul when Luke has not trained her. He's still on lesson 1, you know, like reach out, rocks, you know, and she's doing all this, and then you want to know why? Well, because they brought in one of the, like a very famous computer specialist or weapon specialist, trained her in this thing, but they forgot to fucking set it up, you know? She's automatically this badass weapon master who can take on 10 Praetorian guards who are fully fucking trained, and she can beat them. No. Anyway, moving on. So that's enough of Rey's parents being nobody and Rey being nobody herself. We get what they're going for, that anybody is special now, and anybody can be special. That was already in the lore. You have the right Metachlorians. So Rey's Metachlorians must be through the roof. And then number 2 is that the only reason it's Rey is because of Kylo. Kylo is throwing dark, the Force needed to balance that immense dark power out. Here comes Rey. So Rey's not more powerful than Kylo. They fluctuate, and they are about the same as they do. And how is that possible? It doesn't really make sense. Luke cut himself off from the Force, so there's no Luke to fuck with the balance. But there is Snoke. He's clearly using the Force, so I don't know how that fucks with his balance. Anyway, moving on. Number 4, the Finn Rose subplot. This subplot, yeah, it really
building an army
a halt. And then they kept cutting back to it every once in a while. How how they even get off the fucking ship while they're in the middle of a desperate chase, go and have a fucking side adventure, and come back and still be it's ridiculous on its own. But the actual Beard, tell us about this, about why that just doesn't work.
It just weird, but
Yeah. To me, here's what I call it. I say it didn't feel solid. It felt like Fifth Element. It felt like, you know, the prequels, which is Star Wars,
yeah,
but
I
it did feel like
agree
the
on the
prequels.
Fifth Element. It felt like
I love Fifth Element. Yeah. So much too, because they had to do the animals running, and they had to do the city moving real fast, and the city running. Oh, like look at this little slug. He's a card counter or whatever.
They went so over the top of the stone, way too over the top, and the whole thing that they established there was like, like security and the weapons. It was so badly written.
Yeah.
And honestly, when they freed all the animals and they were on top of them and they were ramping and you know, they were laughing and having fun and enjoying themselves. I was like, this is pod racing again. That's how much I was cringing.
They ham-fisted it in there, and they make two big political points. Three almost. So there's the slavery. Slavery's wrong. You're making slaves of these kids. Second, animal abuse. Like raising was bad. That's bad. And then three, just the populace, which that part I kind of was interested in, but it didn't match up thematically with the way those people looked, the way they acted, the way it was being presented to us as a big joke. I love this idea that there's rich people out there gaining, selling weapons, profiting from both sides. And I was like, okay, if you're gonna get political on this, you're gonna get serious on this, you better follow through. They don't fucking follow through. And that's wrapped up with the DJ character, right? Good job with what he had. Inconsequential, really meaning nothing. And he's like, he basically just gets paid out. Higher bidder is that he betrays Finn and Rose, which causes more resistance fighters to be obliterated and killed. And at the end, they say something to him. Fuck it, moving on. Yeah. It's like, no, it's not. It's like,
Okay,
that's okay.
I thought it was going to be like a double cross.
Right.
Like a triple
Me
cross.
too.
Like
There
maybe
was.
even a
It's
quad.
shifty eyes.
No, I was thinking what they do to these small enough people. They're murder and they're fucking evil, right? It's like, let it go.
Maybe it was turn into the new Han Solo even or something. Like a solo that they just had that.
But that shit just weighed everything down. No good part about it.
Because while Princess Leia, or General Leia, was healing, she had a new general take over. And she was being very shady and discreet with Poe. And then Poe's like, alright, we gotta figure out what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
She would have just told her the plan. Hey, we're trying to escape. We're gonna use the transporters.
Oh yeah, so you're saying the whole subplot
They
is
need
invalidated.
to go get
If
the
that
decoder.
bitch would have just opened her
Honestly,
mouth and told people what was going on,
there was no-
which resulted in mutiny.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later because
Finn
that's
and
the
Rose thing.
plot hole.
Those two things.
You just touched on a plot hole that I was gonna bring up
Those
later.
two things that could have been avoided.
Right. It's awful. It was Rains Johnson. Yeah.
We're gonna escape. That's the plan.
Yeah, done. And okay.
And like, alright.
All right, let's do this now. But we don't have to send the ship out and get clothes and fucking stuff,
And waste like an hour.
because they're gonna just leave the ship. Or they could have just put the ship on autopilot and hyperspaced it like they did before. We'll get there. All right. Anyway,
No, we're not done talking about Finn and Rose yet.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, let's talk about how stupid John, the whole character of Rose was falling in love with Finn in less than 13
12
hours or some shit. And then like around the final scene, I was like, Finn's gonna die in a heroic way. Let's talk about that. Rose crashes into him and they go, I love you. That's why I saved you. And Finn's like, what the
He didn't
like,
challenge.
his face
Survive
was like
failure.
I was in the theater. He was like, what the fuck
Yeah.
is wrong with this girl? But the whole thing was dumb, and then like we were...
She falls in love with him because he's a hero. But yet, heroes are wrong, and you really shouldn't be a hero. Instead, save yourself and others and run away to fight another day. But that's why she fell in love with him, because he's a hero and he was trying to sacrifice himself and shit. So she slams into him, which, by the way, would have her fault.
He like tried to save him by being a hero. She was a hero and tried to stop him from being a hero. But she was trying to be a hero. But then the whole...
And then she fell in love with him and kissed him. And it was stupid.
And then also all the AT-ATs that were there and saw them doing this, they just were gonna go, superhero! Killed them instantly. I was like, what are you doing?
Nobody fired him.
All of those AT-ATs are just looking at him.
They
like,
looked at him. One of them straight up was looking down at him.
They were probably as shocked as we were that she kissed him and fell in love with him so quickly. They were like,
looking down like,
hey man, that's your problem.
how did they find him? Out there.
Yeah. They ran really fast.
You know, like, honestly, like, they saw them down there doing that, and they were like, why aren't we shooting it? And he's like, he just wants me down.
He's got a love triangle going on because I think Ben is falling in love or has already fallen in love with Ray. The first thing he is thirsty as fuck. The first thing he says when he wakes up, where's Ray?
Want that girl right now.
I think they're maybe that.
Oh yeah, maybe. Okay, so that's a watch. Ben is a badass.
As far as like the casino planet goes, the best way to put it is it literally felt like a small part of the casino.
It was a different movie. It was a different movie. It was too long. It was too long. It made it too long. And you could have took all of those minutes, combine it, and say it took 30 minutes of screen time. You could have gave us what we wanted, which is Luke training, or say Luke trains Ray, that give us Dark Side. What the fuck happened to Snoke training with Kylo?
Who the fuck is Snoke?
Yeah, exactly.
Like he died
Exactly.
without me ever.
Whoa! That's the very next one. We're here now. Number 3, the death of Snoke. What the fuck, Disney?
It was so
What the fuck?
Like we don't even know who the fuck he is.
Yeah, nobody knows who the fuck Snoke is. All the things just played out. They never explained anything.
Set it up.
Okay, during the regular movies, they set it up to where Sidious and Vader were the last two. Who the fuck is Snoke? Where did he come from? What is he doing?
Out of red. You can find out in the expanded magazines and rules and online. He came from the outer rim. So that's all we know. So, but he set up so well and mysteriously by J.J. Abrams, and then he's not you. So he's such a good villain in my opinion. I was ready for it. I desperately wanted to be Darth Vader, right? But that's wasn't gonna happen. Whatever. So, right, purely evil. He's confident. Well, he is so. He's purely evil. He's confident. He's powerful, and he set up a brilliant master plan. He's the one that actually made these two go in this astral projection where they can communicate in order to lure Rey to him and to make Rey, well, we'll talk about it in a bit, and to make Kylo feel shitty about himself. Just basically, he is so fucking basically like the two most powerful little forces. He's treating them like children and he wallows in their hopelessness of the rebellion and they're shooting him. And basically, this motherfucker can fling people around a room by just looking at them, barely even lifting a finger.
Like,
And hold on, he connects Rey and Kylo across galaxies. He can read their thoughts and feelings effortlessly, but this near omnipotent being can't hear or sense a rusty lightsaber rattling around on a metal fucking chair right fucking next to him.
that's what I was
And it
just
goes
about
through
to
his
say.
fucking stomach and kidneys, and he's like, oh, with his and
He's just like, what a twist!
oh my god, and he falls over like Darth Maul.
He's so powerful. He's so in tune with the Force. Yet he can't sense someone manipulating the thing right
lightsaber.
No,
next
you
to
know
him.
what it was? Luke was disconnected from the Force, so was his lightsaber.
Oh.
It was invisible.
No,
No,
he
I'm sorry, he
didn't.
disconnected the lightsaber
I
from
was
the Force.
hoping that
He was-
Snoke is sitting there because he was comical. Okay, he's like, I know his every thought. I know he could never, ever,
ever betray me. Oh God, he betrayed me. You know, it's like, I was hoping.
I love
He was too excited. He was too
I
excited
was so
that Kylo
hoping
was gonna kill
that he
Rey.
was doing that. Well, no, I was hoping he was doing that so comically,
Yeah.
so that he could be like, and I see him manipulating the lightsaber right next to me.
Yeah.
Fuck you. You know?
Right, boom,
Yeah.
bitch slap them up, and
Yeah.
we're like, oh my God, this is the most powerful villain we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it would have been like, you know, all that shit talking that they said that he, you know, Andy Serkis and the Star Wars people said he's more powerful than the Emperor, and all this
Yeah.
stuff. That would have been
Show
true if that would have been like that.
And he would have just fucking slapped both
But no,
of them around. And
instead
then
he
they
gets a
had to-
raging boner, like Joe said, you know,
Yeah.
screaming at Kylo Ren, and then fucking,
Killer.
not sure where this is from, maybe Reddit or maybe NME.com, but this, no, it's a YouTube comment. I swear to God, if Snoke doesn't return in a new body, then like Phasma, he was completely useless. It was my belief that Snoke was so powerful that he transcended the physical plane, and much like the ancient Sith Emperor Darth Vitae, and required a new vessel to transfer his consciousness and power into. This would explain why Snoke's body was so withered and decrepit. A mortal vessel cannot sustain such an immense dark side energy without withering and decaying. This is genius! I'm like, oh man, God, I'm reading this comment. I'm like, oh, I'm getting all psyched up. But no, that's not who Snoke is. Some random fuck from the Outer Rim that gets killed. But we are holding out hope, just like you are, man, that we will see Snoke return, okay? Because I mean, this has been set up in the lore. It was explained by Sidious to Vader, and I just wish this was the case. But you know what? It's Disney, and it probably isn't the case. It probably isn't.
To finish my thought though, I thought he was Palpatine, and imagine how fucking cool it would have been if he was just like, I let them think they won, so they would all get in one place, and I killed all of them, and my problem is done.
Well,
and he
that's
like blew up all the rest of them. It would have been like a long time.
It would have made sense in terms of operation.
Yeah,
Because it's
he
like
still had
he's
Operation
destroying.
Civic.
So he can wipe the slate clean,
And then he killed a lot.
Operation Cinder is Battlefront 2, where it sets out an order to.
Purge everything.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm really disappointed with the death of Snoke. It went nowhere. It was set up. It was literally. I saw. Basically, J.J. Abrams set him up, and it was an easy fucking layup. You just slam that ball down up in there, and Ryan Johnson instead fucking goaltended or fucking took the ball and ripped it in half and said, "Fuck this." You know, I hate Snoke. They set him up perfectly to have this big payoff because he could be huge, he could be distorted, he could do this, he could do that, and then he just had his black tiger crystal ring, and people are Star Wars theories, people are, and then those channels have to feel like shit. Like they're like, yeah, we're so good shit because this is where was the format here? Where were the creative teams in Star Wars The Last Jedi that was like, looks like a ninja? No, it was Ray Johnson. No, J.J. Abrams giving me smoke. Fuck Snoke. Kylo Ren. That's why we're the main bad guy of everything. Now Kylo Ren is our support. I'm not into it. I'm hoping is there another threat we haven't seen? No, it's that. And so it's gonna literally the last thing is Kylo Ren versus Rey.
Nobody cares.
I don't care anymore.
I don't care.
I don't care anymore.
If Kylo Ren was more in charge of himself, like instead of being conflicted and being still like the bloody then okay, I'd accept him as a leader. He was like fully part of it.
And they have so much more to wrap up with Kylo Ren in order to make Han Solo's death not be in vain. And if they're just gonna set him up like this, then you just killed Han Solo in vain. And by the way, you killed Luke in vain. There's two reasons left. You killed Luke in vain, and I bet you anything, they killed Han in episode 2. They killed Luke in episode 2. They're gonna kill Leia. And that's and what I was hoping for, fucking Disney, is when you took care of the Star Wars universe, you made great sci-fi films. Rogue One was competent enough, it was interesting, great battles, but really give us and give us some legendary endings to these amazing characters that not only I grew up with, but my dad grew up with, and give them the endings that they fucking deserve. And you've done none of that
They're
so
all going
far.
out like bitches.
And that's the next reason. The behavior of Luke is number 2. Luke Skywalker Disney fucked Luke Skywalker.
Big time.
And this is why Mark Hamill's on record and saying, when I first read the script, I was like, hell no, no way. Luke would not do this. He wouldn't do any of this. And I'm 100% with Mark Hamill. Because, you know, let's talk about it. Luke wants to kill Kylo. Let me say this thing. Really? Get the fuck out of here. This is the same Luke who didn't want to kill a Wampa, even though it butchered his face in Empire Strikes Back and was likely gonna eat him later. But he doesn't kill it, he just, you know, swipes its arm off and runs away. This is the same Luke. This is even bigger. He went on a suicide mission to the second fucking Star Destroyer himself, Death Star, right? Because he thinks he could find the good in the second most evil man in the universe. He's like, I can find the good.
And he was already evil.
Because it's his family. It's his family. So you're gonna tell me. So now he wants to murder his own nephew, right? The only child of his twin sister and his best fucking friend. He's gonna murder him because he's showing a little bit of dark side tendency. Fuck off! Fuck off!
The other thing too is like,
Luke himself has shown dark side tendencies.
When he was with Yoda, and he's like, oh, you need to just go off and do it. I have these feelings, I'm scared, I'm gonna go save my friends and do this. It's the same fucking lesson he learned already, and in the movie they're like, he got scared, so he was just gonna do it rashly without thinking. He learned that lesson already, and he's just like, I'm throwing it all out.
Yeah. And it's so fucking cheap the way they depict it. Just have some fucking balls. This director or the writing team sucks because the main problem with the movie is it has no balls. It does both angles. Is you know, Kylo Ren gonna go light or dark? Both. Is Rey gonna go light or dark? Both. Is Luke you know, going evil and gonna kill? No, he's both. Because he wanted to, but then he realized, no, I don't want to. And no, what the fuck? It's so wishy-washy. Everything in the film is, oh, we're gonna kill Leia? No, we're not. It's coming back and hope that, you know. So this movie takes both sides on everything, and I fucking hate it. So I would have respected it almost if he said, you know what, Luke just went fucking crazy on that. And he went full dark side, and he's been playing around with dark side and light side shit, and now he's a great Jedi and he does good stuff. They tried to do that a little bit, but it's not really explained well in order to lead it. Luke wouldn't behave that way. Especially going to that location in the first place. It's because it's two different directions. Lane Johnson came and said, I want to do whatever I want, and we're gonna have Luke do this and that. And that's what
the whole point of the map was just be like in times of need, and like
and make him a little bit of a coward.
And he's super powerful. It's just crazy. It makes the character so much of a waste.
30, 40 years people have been waiting. That's finally here. We've been waiting 30, 40 years to see him, and this is what we get. Two fucking swings and ducks. Why not come himself? Here's the biggest thing. I don't see him when I thought he was actually there, I was like, yes, they fucking did this right. Oh my God, you're so amazing. Thank you. And when he walks out of there, I was like, okay, this is gonna be crazy. Is he gonna go after it? I didn't necessarily think he needs to go after it. It would have been great if he had like, but they have the initial battle. You're setting up. Don't have it both ways, because again, they have it both ways. There, no. I don't really kill him. No, he didn't kill him, but yeah, he did kill him. What the fuck? It's so wishy-washy. Look, why not come
Let him fucking blow himself up using all this force power to save his
hold
friends.
off all the fucking, you know what, and then we see the door slowly closing or something and hold him off and then we get the fuck out of there. And that's Luke. And he was the spark that created the new rebellion. He died of Luke Skywalker. Instead he dies because he fucking was exhausted from sweating so much.
Nobody has done that before, right? That was amazing, huh?
But like,
He gave Leia some dice from the Millennium Falcon.
Oh,
They were fake dice.
No, they were astral projection dice.
They were fake
It stuck
dice,
around
yeah.
after he died. The dice were still.
That was horrible. It's like, here, this is like your husband's. Poof, gone. Psych, bitch. Psych, bitch.
And she left him, and Kylo got him, and he's like, boom.
You know, here's the thing is that he should have came himself.
Like what I
it
was
makes him a
This
coward.
is
If
why
Luke's
I
surviving
only use dead soldiers.
that.
They'll have a
I thought
more
he was
trained
gonna raise
set
his
of
X-Men
neural
back up.
pathways.
Yeah, that's why the X-Men was
there.
there.
That's why I thought. I was like,
Two
he's
years
gonna
of
raise
fucking
that
X-Men.
He's gonna raise it back up just like he did in the swamp and get the fuck out of there.
You realize how cool it would have been if a fucking X-Wing just flies in randomly,
Yeah.
and then Kylo's like, no, I sense something. Don't fire up. You know, he comes down, and then it's fucking Luke.
So, you guys thought about the back of the when I saw the show back in the 80s, how they had like huge explosives. I thought he was gonna come in with the X-Wing and just light them all up, like in a straight line, because they were at weak. But nope, they didn't.
So you have to, and this plays into the plot hole. Why didn't Kylo know Luke was making
He's so infused
And not even that, there's one big thing that would have tipped him off way more than that. What lightsaber does Luke light up? And what did Kylo just do to the lightsaber seconds before? They ripped that lightsaber apart and into pieces. Exactly. If they wanted to fake us out even better, it would have been Luke using his green lightsaber. No, instead he engages his blue lightsaber. Kylo doesn't notice shit. He doesn't think it's weird at all.
But like we talked about how Luke shot that, he should like he should.
I would have been for that either. I would have been for that even more than this. But this way could have been done. He could have, if he wanted Luke to live, he could have laid down a hologram and gone out with everybody else. That's the smart Luke. Or, you know, the brave and valiant Luke, give him time to start the rebellion. Remember, nobody cared. They sent the signal. Everybody received the signal, and nobody fucking cared. Yeah, fuck you guys. The first order to them. But if Luke would have died and everybody would have heard of that, maybe it would have sparked a revolution. But we don't get a martyr now. We get, oh, he was a coward, ran off to the planet, and then he fucking force meditated real hard. And then he died like that because he couldn't take the pressure. So I'm only hoping, and I know this for I know it's coming back as a right. So you better do the best motherfucking Force Ghost scene ever of all time, but it'll still be disappointing. Motherfucking Chewie in the expanded universe, which is now no longer non-canon, had a more epic death than Luke fucking Skywalker. He saved an entire planet and it took a moon crashing into him. Dropped a moon on him and he saved an entire planet. It was I can't do it. Yeah, I wanted them to expand on that a little bit more. I did appreciate the opened up the Jedi Order. Exactly.
Because all they said was in the dark.
So now we go back to, that's the 10 reasons, but we're not done yet. 10 reasons, the plot holes. Remember the plot holes? Here they come to you. So I'm going to go 10 reasons. It's actually 22, 27, 29 reasons. Why didn't the First Order destroy the Resistance fleet ships immediately? Okay? So a big part of that Last Jedi is that General Hux and the Star Destroyers are chasing down the fucking Resistance, right? And it's the slowest fucking chase you've ever seen. Even if you want to say that they don't have range, and only the regardless cannons are the ones that can penetrate the shields of Home 2. I'm just going to call it the Home 2 because that's what it's called. And basically, then why the fuck did you launch all fighters?
Yeah, because apparently the fighters can go straight for shield, as we saw.
Yeah, Instead, they launched 3 fighters, right? They launched fucking Kylo Ren and 2 escorts. They have the resistance right where they want them. They're gonna obliterate them. They're surrounded, and they send 3 fighters from this mega fleet to go take care of them.
And you're telling me Snoke's massive dreadnought doesn't have
Snoke forces ready to look. The transporters are getting shot down because they're escaping.
Oh yeah, and those transporters are
They were
further away.
Shit.
But they
I
don't
was
have
like,
shields.
what the
Oh, those
fuck?
don't have shields, Joe. That's the reason. But you're
it's
trying to tell me that,
Lasers are reaching them instantly, though.
Snoke's ship.
so you're trying to tell me the supremacy of Snoke's ship isn't powerful enough to penetrate the shields of that smaller ship. It's only, and then not even that, but you have to buy that every single ship in the First Order fleet is slower.
Why didn't the First Order, knowing where that ship is, jump away
And then
then
jump
back
back.
right on top of it?
Well, not only that, but why don't they know exactly where they're at, so they call in? Are you telling me this is the entire First Order resistance fleet? They took over the whole galaxy after they obliterated the Republic, but they didn't need to send ships to, like, garrison places? They couldn't call on other ships to jump in and front?
Yeah, because, I mean, they even said that the ship's being tracked by the main ship, right?
Yeah.
So leave the main ship there, but the supplemental Star Destroyers could all jump out and jump in
Here's what
front
stopped
of.
It's all
the
because
rebel ship.
it's all poor writing. That's why. Plot
Because they
hole.
were chasing.
Next.
They were chasing.
Next.
That's what
Next. Why didn't it's this what I'm saying. Why didn't Vice Admiral Holdo just let Poe in on her plan from the beginning? That's what she said. There was no reason whatsoever. She assumes command, you know, so her plan is just to seemingly just fucking chug along and let all of her
Yeah,
ships
she's
get
like,
obliterated.
I have a plan, but I'm not going to tell you.
And understandably, Poe is like, what
Well,
the
yeah, he's
fuck?
looking at the window. The last.
Everybody is dying. That medical ship, that poor medical ship, so evil. This fucking, and so of course he's understandably upset. And then, but then later on we find out she does have a plan to secretly evacuate everyone in Shuttlecraft and hide them on the rebel base on the break. So why doesn't she tell Poe about this rather than to eventually mutiny against her?
You know what happens to me? She won't tell you.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you're going to have guns.
I am fucking confused by this stupid poor ass plan.
You know what it was? They played Destiny, and they were like, you know what would be cool? If we have that image, like, I didn't know. But I will.
And by the way, why couldn't Holdo have set the cruiser on autopilot and used an escape pod herself?
Yeah.
This whole ship can be autopiloted. Her suicide by hyperspace was intense, and it was a cool ass moment with the way they did it.
Oh, yeah.
But was it really necessary? And why did they do that in the fucking first place?
Exactly.
With the Death Star.
We were talking about that last night with the Death Star.
Death Star, no, it just this
No.
fuck everything else. This, they could have used it there.
Yeah, exactly. But like, if they have an entire rebel fleet, okay, and they go, okay, let's use one ship and power through the Empire
So
of every.
in sci-fi, if you're in hyperspace, you don't speed of light, a single grain of dust but they do that in this, and they destroy the map ships, and they destroy all of the ships instantly. Like, what the shit? What,
It
like,
wasn't all the ships. It was a lot behind it. I think for some. Well, I'll have to rewatch it. But here's the thing: she didn't have a uniform like that. It would have been a lot stronger fight. She was actually the spy. She was the one tracking the ships. That's why she was leading them to slow down. Because she didn't want to get control to the rebels who would turn around and take some First Order lives and go out in a blaze of glory. That would have been a much stronger plot point. Instead, they use it to make Finn look like a fucking moron, just trying to be a hero and save people and do the right thing. And her right thing was run away and get more people.
I thought the entire thing would have been like she was doing this and she was betraying.
No, we gotta keep moving on. This is supposed to be a faster section. A single X-Wing can fuck up a dreadnought now. Number 13.
Oh god.
A single
yeah, I
X-Wing.
want to talk about that. Okay, so thousands of turbo lasers. Before this,
Alrighty. Because the First Order had been fighting the rebellion for how long now? A long fucking time, and they still don't understand that the resistance is a smaller, nimble fighters, so none of the Dreadnoughts can attack single fighters.
Well, not only that, how many guns does a Dreadnought have in front of it for blow to go through it within 3 minutes?
Yeah, and so that's just ridiculous. They have the explanation that he gets closer, but now it can't. And where were the fucking shields? This Dreadnought had no fucking shields.
Yeah,
He's just able to destroy everything. So, and then the bombers themselves are kind of stupid because they have to get so fucking close. Now that is I think a throwback to George Lucas. The bombers can completely destroy a single Dreadnought. And if that's the case, why did you send 20 and obliterate your whole fleet to take out one Dreadnought?
You got a couple X-Wings took out me. The first order tells you.
No!
Here's another thing. Why is the Dreadnought just all it had to do was kick its bow just a little bit up and crush all the balls. They would have just plowed right into it.
Anyways, so number 14. Number 14, why didn't Kylo see through Luke's deception via the blue lightsaber? Number 15, the Knights of Ren are dismissed in the story. The Praetorian Guards are not the Knights of Ren. Where were the Knights of Ren? Number 16, Kylo Ren is obsessed with Vader. That's set up in Force Awakens. Now it seems gone. It's like symbolically destroyed, I guess, when he fucking destroys his own helmet and get up against the thing.
Snoke said it was.
But why?
That's what he said. He said, take off that stupid helmet. And he's like,
Why? It feels cheap. I thought that Snoke, the reason why would Kylo even listen to Snoke? I thought it was because Snoke was manipulating Kylo through the use of Darth Vader's Force Ghost or something, saying, I am communicating with him. Right? But then there's no reason for Kylo to go to Snoke and listen to Snoke. Anyway, moving on. Number 17, Rey didn't get training against fights like she had. Number 18, Snoke's ship can track targets through hyperspace, yet he doesn't know that it works like that, or of there being
yeah, he didn't even
know he had a tracking device.
He's like, oh shit, nice job.
No, number 9. No, that's why he has a magnifying glass on his bridge. I thought that machine was supposed to be some sort of force manipulator, amplifier.
The general on the bridge, he goes up, he's like, Snoke, don't worry, I got the script. I know where
Number 20, Rey happens to be on the other side of the rocks just perfectly when the Resistance escapes their death on that planet, and she can lift all of those fucking hot rocks out of the way with zero real focused training. Yeah. Even though she lifts a few pebbles and cracks rocks, she can lift all of them, and she's in the right place. Number 21, why is Finn hurt in the first film by Kylo, only for a few minutes later in this film to be completely, fine? What was the point in getting that? Number, and by the way, that means I was looking at look at the back of his jacket. You see a burn mark. There's no cut mark on the back of his jacket. It never happened. Rain Johnson didn't even watch Force Awakens. He didn't do his research. Number 22, Rose falling in love within 12 hours is stupid. We already went through it. Okay, so that's 22 reasons. But yeah, so that's it. Thank you for watching this super long video. Maybe next time I'll make a video on how we could have fixed that, because I have reasons on how to fix The Last Jedi, how I would have reworked Finn and Rose's storyline.
Cut it out.
Cut it out. Or used Lando instead to come help with code breaking, or to rescue everyone and actually keep Holden as a traitor. And oh, anyway, can't get into all that. Thank you so much for watching. This was therapeutic for us. And if you want to know why, or if you want to direct other people to this video as to why Star Wars fans might be a little upset and why that audience rating is going down as we speak, this video gives all the reasons why. Alright? Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys on the next
Last Jedi. Everyone all weekend on Twitter and Instagram. What the fuck? Haven't you seen The Last Jedi? Haven't we talked about it yet? Are you going to talk about it? I was just in the weekend. I was out with Jay in Colorado. We were doing tour. 10 days and stuff. We saw the movie on Friday. Saturday, we had show to do. Sunday, I was driving to this guy. Home, I breathe, I put together my thoughts, and I'm ready. Kids, I'm ready to go over The Last Jedi. Now. People are like, what'd you think? You like it? No easy answer. Well, yeah, there's an easy answer. Of course I liked it. And there's definitely... Here, just let me set the stage for you. I saw Last Jedi in Durango, Colorado, in a gorgeous little 2-screener theater. Old, built before I was even born and stuff like that. So, they had new seats, pushback seats in it, but it was the right environment. Instead of going to like multiplex or something like that. When I first saw Star Wars, it was on a 2-screener in New Jersey. Sat down and said, this is the right relationship. This is going to be good to watch this. I played before I went to Colorado. I mean, but wasn't down no matter where I was. But there I was in a nice, fantastic place to see this movie. Directed by Ryan Johnson, Speedy Makers. Lovely guy. He did Luca, which is a fantastic movie. Ryan was given the second of the new Star Wars movies following J.J. Abrams. J.J. as we know, and he, had big shoes to fill because J.J. made the Force Awakens. It's tough to follow that. Tough second act. So, did he do it? Is there stuff that I wish he hadn't done? So I'm not gonna review. I'm gonna review the movie, and then when it comes out, when I deviate, I'm not saying this is what they should have done or they fucked this up. Hey man, they made choices in their storytelling. But overall, I respect their vision. When I jump in Ryan Johnson and all of Lucasfilm, Ryan's co-writer as well, I think I'm straight. That being said, periodically we'll do things where I'll tell you, like, if I was making a story, those are the things. Most of the things that are tough time with those things that I personally think. A lot of folks feel like so a lot of people are reading that book. That's all of us kind of reacting to the movie we want. One really great thing I could say about that is didn't know what it was. Every time I was just like, well, I wasn't sure I should kind of guess right before something was going to happen. But none of the things that I thought was going to happen. And, as an audience, I was surprised. It's supposed to be like, I know this. So I was delighted. But I'll tell you about I saw things like, I wrote down a fuck ton of notes. I'm going to be reading notes and stuff. Let's dive into it. My first viewing was June. Second viewing by myself and which is not a criticism of the movie or saying how it did it. Very fucking well. It was early. Then I went and saw it again at 7 o'clock in the same theater with Mr. Jason. So, here we go. That all being said, that sets the stage. I wrote down, so I'm going to go off the notes I wrote down. There's a fuck ton of notes, kids. I'm just telling you the pages are so you can settle in. It looks like, I don't know, they're not numbered, but it looks like a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, shit, at least 7, 8 pages of notes. Not so much space. Here we go. Star Wars Last Jedi. Opening battle sequence. Loved it. Oh my lord, I loved it. This was actually one of my favorite battles I've ever seen in a Star Wars movie. And for one, like, I'm just as a fan of the franchise, a fan of anything, a story, I'm somebody who likes being stories told to them. Just show me something I haven't seen before. That's all I'm looking for, man. Something I'm like, wow. And you know, I've seen a lot of Star Wars movies. Been seeing them since I was 7 years old, back in 1977. So if you can show me something new, you got my loyalty, man. Like, remember we all saw Rogue One, in the last minute we saw something completely fucking new. A version of Darth Vader that we've never seen before in our lives. Like, forever they'll hold my heart, because that one minute, they showed me something new, man. Something I was familiar with Star Wars, and still I was like, this is fucking brand new. So, in this scene, it's very small, but in this scene, they showed me something new, which I absolutely love. Poe takes out the last gun, and then skids to a halt in his X-Wing by jamming the throttle back, and the X-Wing goes, ooh, so he comes around and shit. It's tiny. Little things like that make me go like, ka-ting, my nipples get all hard. Now, some people out there who don't like this movie be like, oh, he's a fucking fanboy. Yes, yeah, I'm a fanboy. I don't know if you've seen those movies and whatnot I made. We make lots of references. I literally eat Star Wars food, pop chips, making BB-8 fucking snacks and shit like that. I had a big Han Solo and Carbonite here in the house when I was younger. I got Star Wars all over the place. I'm in the bag for this shit, so you can't be like, oh, fuck it, he's a fan. Yes, of course I'm a fan. And as a fan, you show me something new, like Poe fucking skidding out and bringing that X-Men around. Right then and there, I swear to God, it was one of the best. Watching this movie the first time was one of the best times I've had in a movie theater all year, if not in the last 10 years. I was on the edge of my seat. I was smiling. I was crying. Yes, I saw an article online that said, did Kevin Smith cry in The Last Jedi? He did, many times. I was thrilled. I had a layback seat, and I had to keep bringing it forward because I was like, no, no, and kind of getting up in the face of the movie. Not angrily, but just like I was on the edge of my seat. So, that moment, you got to remember, I just smoked a joint, just walked into the theater, I was snack-free and shit like that. It just hit me so, I'm like, I've never seen that. Like, good for you, Rye, and your friends and stuff. You showed me something fucking badass or something new. Anyway, the whole battle, let me write down. Opening battle sequence, as the Resistance evacuates the base we saw in The Force Awakens, the First Order shows up to blast it to hell. Now, in this movie, there are a series. I think Rian Johnson's a really nice guy, and I know he is. I sat here and talked to him and shit. And I don't think he was in any way. I don't want anyone to misconstrue this. I don't think he was attacking JJ with Force Awakens, but there are plenty of what I like to call "fuck you, JJ" moments in this movie, where it seems like the work that was done in Force Awakens just got fucking undone in one very quick swoop by Ryan. So again, I'm not saying Ryan says "fuck you" to JJ for real. But there are "fuck you, JJ" moments in this movie. The first one is they blow that base to shit, man. That's the base that we saw on Force Awakens, where everybody was, and where they came back after Han got killed and shit like that. So right off the top of this movie, it's like, fuck you, JJ, there goes your base. And the base goes away. Again, I don't think that's what Rian Johnson was saying, but it was weird. They really fucking disassembled a lot of shit in this movie. Okay, fantastic space battle. That's what I wrote down. One of the best in Star Wars. Poe faces down Hux. And right away, we get a flavor of The Last Jedi. It's so weird. They talked about, like, they got rid of the guys that were directing the young Han Solo movie, because they're too jokey and stuff. They went for broke with the jokes in Last Jedi, and I, for one, was on board. I was not sitting there going, this is out of place. When Poe is going like, I'm holding for Hux, and Hux gives his old, we'll fucking blow you out of the sky, we're gonna fucking do this, wipe your ass over the galaxy, we're the First Order. And then he's like still holding for Admiral Hux. Funny, man, I'm sitting there immediately laughing going, this is new, what a weird direction to take. It's like the closest thing to levity in the first trilogy, in the opening, was, let's see, R2-D2 and C-3PO, on Tatooine, going to Jabba's palace and having little arguments with each other and getting an argument with the door and meeting Gamorrean guards and Bib Fortuna and shit like that. So this was a legit, like, funny opening, man. Like, Poe is, they added more, they gave him more time, like, more to his character. And you're like, I like this guy. He's a lovable rogue and stuff. At least in the beginning and shit. Later on, you're like, what the fuck, Poe? So in any event, I love that scene. Poe, as I said, throwing his fucking X-Wing reverse, skidding out. It's little things for me, man. The bombers versus the dreadnought sequence, where the bombers bombed out. I've never seen these bombers before. It was awesome. I was like, right on. It seemed a shame that so many of them just blew up into each other and shit like that. But that happens when you war in the stars. That'll happen in the Star Wars. So one bomber left. I think the lady was flying, or was in charge of it. Rosie system. They have this whole moment. where the shit bombers blow up and shit. Shoot the last bomb and they're like, fucking drop your bomb. And the guy who's supposed to drop the bomb is detonated, you know, he can't tell you that. He's got to climb up these long steps to get it and stuff. And, you know, it's a wonderful little allegory for the war. The war comes down to one person. Old war movies. Feel like that stuff comes down to the hands of one person, the whole war. And taking out this dreadnought was totally big dream. Big bomber that can take it. Bam! Taking out the base down below on JJ planet. Force Awakens planet. Poe's like, we gotta take this fucker out. And Princess Leia's like, no, get back to the base. I fucking told you no. And he's like, nah, and he turns his shit off and whatnot because he wants to take me. If we take this bomber out, this is a base killer or something like that. Fucking, this is a killer. Like, we take it out, man. So he forgets he goes for, you know. So in going for the kill, they clear the path for the bombers. The bombers in the middle of the fighting, the tide fighter hits one, boom, it goes up and it takes out like 4 others and shit. All the bombers going to hell without ever dropping the bombs into the dreadnought. So it's left up to this woman Paige. She climbs up the stairs and gets the detonator. No, she falls back. This big blast and she falls down below. The detonator's still up top. And in a very like, sure, it's not. It's certainly not big. But very silent bomb, ball rats type moment. She's laying on the ground. She like kind of concentrates. And then kicks the pole, and finally the detonator falls down. She catches it, and then bam, she releases the bomb. School had never seen anything like that. And takes out the dreadnought. It's a huge celebration. It's like bigger than the execution. So, big sequence, man. Really fucking cool. And then it's Rose's sister. She goes up. Okay. After that, Finn wakes up after getting sliced up the back in Force Awakens, man. He reconnects with Poe, who gets slapped and demoted by General Leia. So fuck off. He disobeyed orders. She demotes his fucking. Then Finn asks Poe, hey man, where's Rey? And that's when we finally go looking on the Rey story. Last time we saw Rey, she was on the island. She went to Skywalker Island. Skyland. She went to Skywalker Island. Skyland. And she's on Skyland, and she's like, get your fucking dick back. Join the Star War, motherfucker. And that's how the movie ended. It was like fucking movie where the ending of Force Awakens is predicated on one shot of his lightsaber back. Here's your metal dick. And, Mark Hamill, wonderful in the movie. Tremendous. So nice. First time we've seen Luke Skywalker in person. I like the story, but as a fan going back, I was just like, Luke Skywalker. Who's now like old like so I was so we meet him, and instead of like, oh my god, here's my dick back and time to fucking fight the Star Wars, throws the lightsaber not like seriously like the agent, but in this movie that Jedi dismantled a bunch of things. He's going further back. George Lucas like Force is now something completely different. Alright, so let's see. On Op 2, that's the name of the island. Luke wants to go part of these secrets, man. He's like, fuck this. You go back home and you tell people I'm done. I'm finished. And so he goes and hides in this little hut. Rey wants to come back and fight the Star Wars, but Luke says, what do you think's going to happen? You're going to face down the First Order with a laser sword? And I got to be honest with you, I lumped into that in a weird way. This is one of those moments where, when laser sword? Nobody's ever said that in the Star Wars universe. I don't think. Laser sword was the name of the off-brand lightsaber. And your mom was like, I'm not buying you that Kenner lightsaber. It's $10. You can have the laser sword. Just a light, a flashlight with a plastic tube on and shit. So it was very weird to hear that term. I bumped into that. Not in a way where I was like, fuck, this really does it. He called it the generic brand. But, you know, lightsaber's brand name. It's like Band-Aid. Lightsaber Band-Aid. We all know it's a laser sword. But lightsaber is still uniform. So here Luke Skywalker refers to his lightsaber as a laser sword. Even though, you know, I get it. He's like, I'm done with this shit. Over the fucking Star Wars. Oh, what about fucking no Seagulls? I get it. Hearing him say laser sword was like just strange. It was as if Rey was like, I'm cut. And Luke was like, I will get you in a piece of strip. You know, instead of saying Band-Aid. It was just really weird. I didn't really move it. Anyway, back to it. That's like Chewie busts in, man. Comes through the door and shit. And like, that door really good. I was like, that was close. And so Han and Luke is like, Chewie, what are you doing? And he's like, hey man, we're here in the Falcon. Come take us back to the Star. Wait, Falcon's here. Where's Han? And right then and there, you're like, here we go. Man, you fucking tell me. You know why he's gonna get on that fucking plane? To find out his bestie got killed by his nephew, by his bestie's own son, and he's gonna be like, I will avenge thee, or you know, bring his bestie. You can imagine that's the scene, man. Like, you're gonna hear Luke Skywalker, you're gonna watch Luke Skywalker have to hear about the death of Han Solo from this woman he just met, Rey, and from Chewie. And he can understand Chewie. Chewie's like, Rrr. He's like, I know. So he can clearly understand Wookiee. So, I mean, again, what they did in the movie's fine. They set it up. It's a great cross-cut moment where, you know, he goes, wait a second, where's Han? And then he cross-cut to Kylo Ren. But I would make it straight. I might have had Chewie do a whole monologue. Just tell the fucking story of Han Solo getting killed by his own son. And getting emotional. Remember, like, fucking Chewie and Empire? So, I don't know. It was just something I thought about. Like, but if he's emotive enough, you know, and see Mark a chance to like fucking him. He's the only guy who can understand the fucking book. But it would have to play out in Mark's performance, and we watch him like so. And the Wookiee bastard.
Fucking bastard!
Cross-cut right over to Kylo Ren. So we get into the Kylo Ren story. So Kylo Ren gets bitch slapped by Snoke in the red room. Surrounded by red guards, man. And the fucking Snoke is dressed in gold lame. I don't know why. Odd choice. I was like, I've never seen much gold. Cross-cut over there. And Snoke is telling fucking Kylo Ren, and that leads to Kylo fucking busts out of there, destroys the Kylo Ren map, equivalent to Anakin Skywalker ripping off his helmet and then breaking that up. I'm done with this shit. Deal with this. You know, granted, Adam Driver is far more attractive than Kylo Ren as old burnt scarred up. Anakin Skywalker and Jimmy Jedi, whatever, but you know, I understand they did what I love Kylo Ren. Gives, you know, the actor, like, look at my face and she's a chance to I like this guy. I never really saw that TV show that he was in, so fucking, yeah, he's a discovery. These guys. They do have the shirt. But in any event, so he's on third fucking J2 moment, feels like, and maybe the FYFA. Kylo Ren smashes his mask. Like, all the marketing and the toys, Kylo Ren with a mask in the last movie and stuff. And he's like, I'm Junior Darth Vader, so I wear this mask. And, you know, Ryan's like, no, you're not. Guess what? Kylo Ren gets rid of his fucking thing. So, okay. Let's see what else. Back to the planet. Luke still won't deal with Rey. Calls him around which are neither Ewoks nor Darth. I thought they were used to be. And I know a lot of people saw the trailer and she was like, fuck this, but I honestly thought it worked out. I thought they were good, particularly because it led to like. Okay. Remember, like at one point in the movie, she was going to eat a fucking. Holy Lord, his horrified eyes and shit. No. And they all, he's like, they all scatter. And then one is still hanging out and shit. And like, make up the movie you want in your head. But in my mind, I'm like, so somehow, I think that in my movie, they're the ones that are being Chewie didn't eat the thing. Chewie goes vegan. Very forward thinking. But hordes were worth it just for that. I also thought they were just, again, they were not. Hordes saved them. Get a third act. They saved that. Okay, here we go. Luke boards the Falcon. He finally, you know, after Rey's bugging him for a few days, like, Rey, come back, fuck off. He goes out in the cover of night while Chewie's trying to eat hordes and not succeed. And he goes on the Falcon. We've seen this moment from the trailer. And it's beautiful. Like, you know, I start crying. It was beautiful. But they did it one day. Because I was wondering, like, what is that moment when I saw the trailer? They must leave the island and shit. But he was looking at it, and then he bumps into R2-D2. And I honestly feel like this may be the emotional highlight of the movie. I'll try to get through this without getting nothing, but we, all of us, have gone on this adventure for what, 40 years? I've been doing this shit since I was 7 years old talking about stuff. For one reason only, because Luke's, well, because George Lucas had a good idea. But really, if you look at it through the movie, we went on this adventure because a boy on a farm met a robot that he wasn't supposed to meet, who was there by total fucking accident or chance, unless, you know, of course, but I don't think so. The droids escape from the Rebel blockade runners, land on Tatooine, get picked up by Jawas, his own story. And then Luke and his uncle go buy the fucking droids, and they find one of them. They don't even try to buy R2-D2, they try to buy R5-D4. And so then he's like, we'll fucking take this. We're on this journey, all of us. Droid, I know it's very fashionable now to really pick rocks and socks and gold and shit. It all begins within like don't fucking embarrass me. This is really big moment. So he talks to R2-D2 and, you know, R2-D2, just like I was saying, oh my god, Chewie could have told fucking Luke the story. They did to kind of do that scene with R2-D2, where Luke is talking to R2 and he's like, no, I'm not going back, man. There's nothing in the world that anybody could do to make me go back. And R2 projects the image, the message. You know, I can't believe it. 47 is going to make me cry. R2-D2 projects the message that Luke saw as a youngster. Well, help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, your mom, help. Oh, in the theater, dude, I was like, I was worse than this. I was bawling, wiping my eyes and my fucking pop chips. That was perfect. It was so good. How many fuck like call that reference to the old movies? But that was so well written, man. To bring that back in, holy fucking shit. You know, Luke was just like, low blow. You had to pull that shit out. Again, we're only on this adventure because that little droid showed him that fucking video, and for them to bring it back, that was excellent. just so excellent. There he is looking at, last time he saw that video, she was some space princess, and he was in fucking Farmville, and he's like, oh my god, I could fucking go up to outer space and join the Star War and shit like that. Fight with the rebels against the Empire. Now he's looking at this video as an old man, and that's his sister. And he's gone on this incredible 40-year journey and become a Jedi fucking master because of that video. Excellent writing. Pulling that out, fucking perfection. I absolutely love that. Let's see. The idea of tracking a ship through hyperspace, through the jump, through a light speed jump. That's new. They've never done that before. That leaves the Resistance no choice but to lead the First Order on. Somebody once told me the plot of the next Star Wars movie is very slow freeway chase. I'd be like, no, that sounds like something I'd write.
Pull on muscles, tendons,
No, they didn't.
even functional
That's
nerves.
interesting. But see, that was Star Wars.
Yes.
It did remind me of something.
Yes, their speed.
I don't think it's taken from this.
They have a
I remember there was an
language.
episode of Battlestar Galactica in the moon.
Wow.
They keep jumping. Let me whip and jump. I don't know. Again, I'm not saying they took that. I just remember it reminding me of that. But anyway, I went with it. I didn't mind it. They got a lot of, they're juggling a lot of balls. I don't mean a lot of different stories. One of the stories is this. Weird, but I'll take it. Well done. Okay. Kylo Ren attacks the Resistance fleet after he gets pitched out by Snoke. He's like, fuck you, get my ship. He's like, you know where the fuck the Resistance is. I'm gonna kill them all right now because I'm no boy in a mob. So he fucking jumps on his ship. He's got five fighters fucking with him. I'm sure he's got like a Darth Vader looking fighter. He is the ultimate Darth Vader. And you see the moment from the trailer. Hopefully everyone realizes this is spoilers. I know I'm 27 minutes in, fucking heavy spoilers. So he's like, do I do it? They didn't direct him off, but it looks like he's shoot. Wasn't the exact read of it, but just like, you know, they cross-cut between them. He's like, do I do it? And then you see his finger go down, and then he's like, fuck it. And he don't. Shots come from the side. His sides, his two wingmen, they're like, fuck, she ain't my mother, bitch. And they fucking blow to fucking the ship to Kingdom Come. And you watch Princess Leia, Carrie Fisher, get blown out into fucking space. And I literally did this shit. I like cleaned all the way forward, was like, this is how it's gonna happen? Like, you know, sadly, we lost Carrie. So that's Princess Leia wouldn't necessarily be in the next one. And I said, this is bold, because this is the first half of the movie. And then something happened which seemed to piss off a lot of people on the internet. I went with it because I was just thrilled as an old timey Star Wars fan who saw Return of the Jedi in the theater, and you know, Yoda said, you've never seen Princess Leia, General Leia Organa, get to use the Force necessarily. She could hear Luke and stuff technically. This was, we got to watch Leia, Princess Leia, save herself. Now, she has to fly throughout the space to do it, and that seems to have pissed off the great some guys who were like, Leia can't do that, Bruce can't do that. Well, let's be honest. Bruce does whoever writes and directs the shit each year says. So now the Force will give you a little force field, and you can breathe kind of like so there was an outer space near them. My rival battle. And you know, again, I was like, hey man, this is like the first week. I have done space things, like, but I also see the consternation online with like, you fucking jerk, she spacewalked. Hey man, like, there's a lot of wonderful shit. Okay, so let's see. Finn wants to get off the ship and finds Rey, so he can find Rey. So he uses Leia's tracker, Leia gave Rey a tracker, station tracker. Slayer came back. Sick bay. He found the track down the ground. Remember, that's his buddy. They came together. Then the stormtrooper guy, technically was a murderer of the First Order and stuff. Worked out on Star Killer base. He's something with rocks still. You find out because he's trying to leave. He's trying to take that tractor, get an escape pod, and now Aaron Rose, his sister Baby's involved in Star Wars. Everybody knows you. Like he's fucking famous because of what he did with the Empire. Because he left them. She's like, you're the stormtrooper that left, and you helped bring down Star Killer base. It's a very fun scene. Not like goofy, but it's sweet. Like he's famous in their world, and she's like, wow. And then she kind of pieces together that he's trying to fucking escape from desert him. So she shocks him out. She said, like, I'm gonna take out a few people. She realizes that this guy is hero. And then, you know, she's about to turn him in the brig or whatever. So they start thinking the same. And they're like, oh shit, I bet you we can fucking stop this tracking. We just need to go tell somebody. So they wind up teaming up, becoming pals. And so they're like, let's go fucking talk to somebody. All we need to do is get on Snoke's ship. They tell Poe, and then all three of them do a FaceTime with Maz Kanata, who's busy elsewhere. She turns him on to a guy on Canto Bright, casino planet. If you don't know what Monaco is, it looks like Iron Man 2. That's how I know shit. I've never been to Monaco, but I've seen it in movies, including okay, so there's a very funny spin on the, like, you'll never see a more wretched hive of scum and villainy as they come into Canto Bright.
Holy shit!
Like, it's filled with the world. And they cut to Tipsy. Shit like that. So it's like the cantina scene in Star Wars. But anyway, so you're seeing rich people for the first time in Star Wars. We've seen money big crates with money, you know, like the fucking Han got paid at the end and shit. Star Wars save the day. The money's a factor machine. You don't really see it or whatever. You get to see lots of fucking people in the first one. A little break. They Lucas. Anyway, so these two park legally, Ben and Rose, and because of that, they get arrested. They're trying to find this guy who's got a master plan. So they don't get to that guy to get done. While they're there, they meet Benicio del Toro. Opens their jail cell and lets them all out. First, they want to help us, now we're good. And then he lets them out. So they all wind up breaking up. And then Finn and Rose, they're earlier, you know, they're on the platform deck and for about 100. And it was like these Tanzan looking figures. Yeah, my version of it. So they had these like horses instead, looked like that. People basically didn't have real horses. These animals that get raced on, they're like racing horses. And so, you know, they saw there's a quick shot of them being abused and stuff. And so Rose, you know, has her own hand for like, let's fucking get rid of it. She don't say. Casino cops come up. There's a very vegan and animal-friendly influence running throughout this entire movie. How much they love the animals. And they're on their back of one of them, casino cops chasing and shit. And the horses finally get away and just takes the side. They say, like, we didn't get shot. they accomplished something there. Not just like, look at all the fucking rich people and shit like that. They set the horses free. So, meanwhile, Laura Dern, we meet Laura Dern, man, after Princess Leia goes out. We got Laura Dern who's playing Amelin Holdo. I read about her in Princess Leia. Introduced this character, so I know a little bit about them, their friendship, and where they came from. Because all of a sudden they just introduced her in this movie, like, here's Princess Leia's friend you never heard of, Amelin Holdo, and it's Laura Dern in purple fucking hair, and she takes over because General Leia is incapacitated after the spacewalk. So most of the hot-headed Poe, he just wants to blow shit up. Like, he don't want to like, you know. Now we're gonna blow shit up, so you can see they're gonna start coming up. Poe, he runs the Finn and Rose mission to Canto right behind. Back behind. Meanwhile, we find out that Rey and Kylo Ren, they have a connection. There's a lot going on in this movie. They got a force connection. They can talk to each other. See each other. And at one point, you know, he's like, Kylo Ren's like, this shit will tear you apart because she's young Jedi. So, you know, they think they're just like they've got that. And he's like, hey man, so they start talking. He's trying to while Luke's telling her about the Force, he's going, forget the fucking. There's one really funny moment where she's sitting on the rock and like, reach out. You're supposed to reach out to get young. Instead, she reached out with her hand and took her ass over the she goes, I do feel it. And he's like, that's the Force. It was really funny. And then he hits her with it. He's like, don't reach out that way, you idiot. And so he's telling her to reach out. So she the theory of the Force is who says the Force is not Jedi. It's not like if the Jedi die, the light goes out. The Force does not belong to Jedi. He's like, you know what the Force is? He's like, it's that shit in between love and hate. It's the shit in between. Whatever the glue, the cartilage that holds it together. It's really far from like together. You know, it's an interesting idea. It's like the Force is not good or bad.
Oh my God!
So Rey is powerful. She can see all the shit, and she goes right to the dark hole on time. Being brought to the dark side. Let's see. She goes into that hole. She's like, and then finally I got up and met the mirror and said, show me my parents. And they showed me. Like that was it. They did one of those. It's kind of like Empire. Nine or 10. 9 on the verge of 10 when I saw it. And in that scene where Luke, you know, Vader shows up as a child, I was like, Vader's on Dagobah, he's in the fucking train! But it was like, this one I understood. This one I was like, yeah, and so in any event, Luke's training Rey finally to fucking embrace the Force and shit. We learn what happened with Luke and Kylo Ren in like 3 different versions of the story. Basically, Luke knew Kylo Ren was already in the lead, and so fucking he's like, ooh, this kid's gonna be the next Darth Vader. Snaps on his lightsaber, and he's like, oh, Luke's not. That's Skywalker. Kylo Ren wakes up, Ben Solo, his nephew, sees his fucking uncle stand over him with his fucking long metal face, and is like, and he pulls his lightsaber and fucking down on the seat, and then he's on Force Awakens. Rey was in the room. Kylo Ren makes all the fucking Jedi trains and burn the temple grounds, which will teach you not to stand over the middle of the night. Lit likes it. You know, granted, you can make the argument, hey man, Snoke had already turned or something like that. I woke up and I was like, oh, Luke was gonna kill me? Off this, we're bringing it down. So, you know, Rey's like, hey man, like, you gotta be better. She's trying to pull him to the light side and shit. Luke's bummed about being a Jedi. He wants it all back. And he catches Rey and Kylo first touching each other in a hut, man, and blows the fucking thing off. And then he's like, oh, you talk to that boy. I thought it was like saying, there's your brother. And I think that's maybe what we were led to believe and stuff, that the relationship, because in the last movie, who is Rey? You're into the Skywalker. So in that moment, it was like, that's what he's about. First touch, check, because it's like, hey man, I know from kissing my sister, I'm gonna find out about your sister. So it don't matter. They wind up fighting. She attacks him with her stick. He fucking pulls the stick and stuff. You get to see Luke Skywalker fight for a little bit, and then she fucking gets the and, you know, she's like, you gotta fucking help her. You gonna help or not? Wasting my time on this. You gonna take your metal, get back and fucking fight the Force in the First Order? And he's like, no. She's like, fine, then I gotta go to Kylo Ren. I'm gonna try to turn it into I gotta do something. Take a stop and fuck that. He's watching the dog, and don't add it. He goes and lights fucking lighter and lighter. He goes to burn down this tree on the island. He's got the Jedi text. He's like, done with it. Wind up very head and set of this is another highlight movie to me because again, it's very easy to put together. Anytime you talk to each other, you got my full attention. And there he is. And hats off to Ryan and production folks for choosing the Yoda they chose. Because when the Yoda dies in Return of the Jedi, they've done Yoda as a version of puppets. Remember the first in the Phantom Menace, he was a puppet. And then later on, Lucas, I think, changed him out to digital. Then he was digital, you know, for the rest of those movies and stuff. So we haven't seen like hardcore puppet Yoda, not that one.
Holy shit!
That one. Yoda died in Return of the Jedi. That's the one that comes back to see Luke, and it's fucking beautiful. Like, you know, it calls him such an easy word. That's what he used to call him, Return of the Jedi, and he'll always be young Skywalker. Even though we're sitting there and they have a chit chat, and he's like, I'm gonna burn your books. And Yoda's like, fuck you, I'll do it. He's like, what are you doing? And he's just like, the books don't matter. She's going, like, you ever tried to read them? He's like, you know, the Force and the Jedi. And he talks about, like, how, you know, Luke feels like a failure. Like, Luke has thrown himself in exile because of what happened with Kylo Ren. Jedi Master, I shouldn't be touching the Force. And Yoda's like, you don't get it. You did exactly what you're supposed to do. Good and bad, it's all part of it. He says something very similar to what I was saying today. I'm like, failure is just success training. You know, it sounds like a cat poster, but and he says something about like failure is a great teacher. He's like, you talk about it. You did what you're supposed to. And he's like, all students do not for years. He's like, oh, come on, man. It was the liberal hunting. If it's not your fault. Fuck you, Sean. I do. But it was a really beautiful moment. And there's acting with like the puppet that he acted with. I don't know if it's the same thing. But, you know, from years back, it was a wonderful moment. And smart that Yoda was the guy. And in the back of my mind when the movie started, I was like, I wonder if they'll show Yoda. And then when it happened, I'd completely forgotten. I wasn't expecting it, so it was a complete surprise. And I just leaned forward and started fucking 47. When you get to middle age and you're a stoner, everything makes you come out. I'll be honest with you, it's fucking dope. You know, when I was a kid, I saw that movie. That's the mentor-student relationship that I know, other than like what I was talking about, was from Empire Strikes Back. You get yourself a master. So it's nice seeing those guys together. And Yoda still teaching them shit 40 years on. Still taking them to school. So, this moment, Rey takes off, like you see earlier in the movie, Luke's X-Wing submerged. And, but anyway, when you saw it, you're like, oh shit, son, I know what's gonna happen. I know what's gonna happen. When he's gonna raise that shit, like Yoda raised his X-Wing, he's gonna fly back and fight the fucking First Order. But, you know, that's one of the charms of those movies, that if you think you know where it's going, they will make a decision that it's not put next to I feel like I take on the whole Empire myself. Fucking that's why I have it. And we kind of, in any event, you don't raise the X-Wing. But, okay. So just like, let me see, Finn and Rose, they, so after they find, they go to Monte Carlo, the casino joint and shit like that, they found, something I want to talk about. They introduced the notion that the Empire, the First Order doesn't build its own weaponry, like any they buy So in any event, they introduced the notion of like, there are rich people in the galaxy, and these people show an X-Wing. So apparently these people got rich, just selling, that's a notion that was never introduced to me in Star Wars. Like, who makes these ships? You know, it was just like, well, the Empire makes their ships, and the Rebels make their ships. But apparently they buy their ships from fucking weapons people, and I don't know, it was just weird. It would have changed the way I played Star Wars with my figures as a kid, because I could have had whole adventures where the Emperor is just like, I would like to maybe not as fun as the other shit, but still, would have been a way to go. It was an interesting note, and of course very modern. Talk about, you know, who makes this? Who's profiting this? So in any event, that's going on. Rey, she gets off. She took off in a Falcon. She escape pods off the fucking Falcon and shit. A little mini escape pod. And she winds up on Snoke shit. And there's Kylo. And they're on Snoke's ship, and Nemo Solo takes her to see the Snoke motion capture. Man, we can speculate about. So of course, come back to life. Mace Windu, I saw is it, you know, some other Star Wars character? Some deeply connected? Is it, there's always, who is it connected? And, is it Grand Moff Tarkin? None of those. But it doesn't really matter. It turns out it really doesn't matter. Snoke reveals that he's the guy that bridged the minds of Ray and Kylo. He used Kylo's emo, where he's like, fucking don't know if I want to be this guy, against him. And, you know, by fucking putting those two together, teaming them up and shit. And he's like, I knew you tried to turn each other. I'm fucking the smartest bitch in the galaxy. You guys are fucking fools. He's a fool, you're a fool. And you better tell me where fucking Skywalker is, man. Fucking don't even tell me. Pull it out in your fucking mind, and then I'm gonna fucking, you're gonna die painful and shit. So he starts torturing Ray. Meanwhile, Finn and Rose, they're, after they help the fucking Tauntauns, here, resistance ships, they're running out of gas. So Poe Dameron, he gets all mad, he's like, fuck it, he makes mutiny. Or during Princess Leia, she's next in charge. So she's fueling up the escape pods. Instead of like, you know, fucking let's jump or get the fuck out of here, she's fueling up escape pods which are like shit. And you know, they're gonna abandon ship. Hold up like this, like that shit fucking all this gas in 2 hours to move it, fucking jump ship, that's it. Fucking you're an idiot. Makes mutiny, man. Him and a few others turn their guns on fucking Holdo and the others. He takes over the fucking ship and then she's like, she gets away, and then all of a sudden the bridge gets locked down, and then they're Star Warring each other, civil Star War, on the resistance ship. Last thing they need as a fucking empire. The First Orders to just hang back and come over and kill themselves. So then, you know, bam, the bridge doors open up, roll open and shit. Like, what the fuck? Takes them out. So, there goes the mutant. Okay. The whole thing is they find out when he wakes up. The plan all along is to get the ship as close to planet Crate. And then the escape pods will take off and jettison down Crate where there used to be a rebel base back in there. Already just sitting there waiting for us. That's why they're doing the slow chase, because anywhere they jumped, the Empire will follow them, so they were tracking. So the Empire don't track little ships, track the main ship, but they don't track the pods. So they're like, oh, you get close to the pods, down the Crate, you get inside the fucking Crate. Fucking fools know that there's no sound plan, but fucking nobody bothered to tell Poe, you know, because he's down in rank, down in rank. You know, you save a lot of time with So, you know, after he plays General Layer, he gives him the plan. Oh, that ain't funny. Also, was turning evil, man. And he was like, no, she's not even too credible. So it's kind of a cool moment for her where, you know, she's going to go down with the ship, Holdo. She says to Leia, like, bye, man. And I'm going to go down with the ship. You go. This is it. This is the moment. So, kind of beautiful. Where are we at now? Let's see. Back on Snoke's ship. Pull up on Snoke. He tells Kylo Ren, you're going to fucking lightsaber death. That's your fucking ship. And instead, Kylo Ren's like, alright, while fucking Snoke's telling her, you know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna tell you the next fucking 10 minutes fucking month before you're done. Starts telling her everything. And this guy's that's a lie. Fucking Snoke. I'm gonna find Skywalker and fucking kill him. And he's pretty powerful. You can see him whipping her around the room. There's one funny bit where she goes with a lightsaber. And just like Luke and Return of the Jedi, she got the feeling that went on and shit. She goes for it, but it goes all the way around her and comes back and like fucks her in the head and goes back to fucking Snoke. Put the chair on the chair. Fucking Snoke. Don't you get it? That don't mean shit. Because as he's sitting there telling her what's gonna happen, he's like, nah, yeah, I'm pretty this and shit like that. Having his emperor and Kylo Ren sitting there listening to him, and Kylo Ren is, you know, that solo is fucking emo as fucking together. Now double emo because of the best standard boss. Literally used him. He told me that you see him get mad. He lights his lightsaber, like he looks like he's gonna jam or whatever. But meanwhile, you see his hand that happens. Oh! See the lightsaber on the chair. Snoke is telling Rey. And sudden you hear, "Phew," and the fucking lightsaber turns on into Snoke, and you're like, what? I mean, it's one thing for him to betray Snoke, but like, you don't usually kill the Emperor to the third fucking movie. What's going on? And then he goes and fucking pulls the lightsaber. Cuts this fucker in half. 2 Snokes. Snoke the sequel. Snoke 1 and 2. And then fucking Rey catches the lightsaber. Snoke fucking falls in half. And all his evil red guards, like, you know, who are awfully fucking slow. They start to happen. And there's a slow moment for him. So, fucking 2 heroes. Kylo Ren and Rey together fighting these fuckers. That's what some people online. Those are the greatest lightsaber battles in the movie. I don't. Yeah, sure. You know, of all the movies, absolutely. But the one in Star Wars is kind of weak. 2 old men like Ben Kenobi and David Prowse kind of hitting each other with sticks. One of the greatest, of course, is would be Qui-Gon versus Darth Maul. That was fucking fantastic. This one was cool, but it was kind of like a wide shot that pushed in, or a 2-shot that pulled out into one. Ryan let them fight in the room. You know, it looked cool, but it wasn't like, oh my god, mind bending was fucking cutting that fucker in half with the lightsaber. It took me back to my childhood. When I was a kid and I saw Return of the Jedi, Luke did that little lightsaber, and then he wields it up here, and then he goes to come down. Always bugged me that, like, if he didn't grab it, he could have just spun around while it was kept going, and then the back of his blade's going through the back of fucker's chair and cutting him in half. I promise you, I swear to you, I used to have that discussion with my high school girlfriend all the time. I was like, why didn't he just swing around the chair and cut from behind? And she was like, why do you think about that shit? I don't know, might make a great career with it. They did it! They did that moment, essentially, cut him in half. We didn't go behind the chair. Dope. And then they start fighting with each other and they're taking out the guards who have really big outside. I don't know if I put that much shit on it. But cuts one, like at one point there's a guy holding the lightsaber and she's getting close to her face, and then she fucking drops it, drops down, catches lightsaber, cuts fucker's legs out, and then fucking cuts him in half. Like, it was fantastic. She knows how to use that fucking lightsaber, that Rey. So, that was a pretty dope scene. And at the end of it, you know, she's like, hurry up, man. We can select the resistance ships. Well, the problem is, meanwhile, while that's going on, the First Order, Finn and Rose and Benicio del Toro, Space Fenster, is like, what the fuck? They get on the ship. And then just as they're about to go in the chamber where you shut down the tracking device, including a fucking evil BB-8, Bizarro BB-8, who's been watching my buddies like, no, because they're dressed like Imperials, and to dress up BB-8, they empty the garbage can and stuck it on top. It's kind of a cute idea. We were kids. So, it was kind of cute. But anyway, they get fucking caught. They don't even accomplish their mission. Suddenly, Space Fenster, man, he's like, hey, flip it. I flip it. And he flips on him and fucking sells out his buddies, man. Sells out his fucking buddies for money. And, you know, fucking Finn's like, man, sucks like that. And he's like, maybe you're right. And fucks off. That's it. So, they're caught. And all of a sudden, Captain Phasma shows up. Boba Fett of this bitch, you know, played by Brianna Farmer. And she's like, FN. And so she decides to execute him. Like, fire blast is too good for me. Space cheese grater. Laser cheese grater. To fucking cut him in half, and they're about to kill him and Rose and shit. So everybody's on the edge of their seats. Meanwhile, they found out, the First Order, what the target those little ships and start blowing them. Bam! The resistance is and so Aldo, Laura Dern, is on the big ship, and the moment they cut to her, I was like, oh my god. Oh my god. Greatest moments in any Star Wars movie. Admiral Holdo, England Holdo, turns the fucking ship around and goes right. Never seen that. Fucking co-writing that. It's like, guys, wow, fuck, that's good. God damn it, that's good. Second viewing, I had this feeling of like, better. What a way to go out that way. But hey, man, that's quick. That's my idea of Star Wars. Finn and Rose, you know, because they fast as they have their stand still, and he fucking hits her with some shit, you know, across the face and so then she falls. Darth Vader, so maybe she knocked down this shit. But I'll tell you what, Snoke getting sliced in half, Captain Phasma getting iced, all felt like, fuck you, it's gonna be good. Those are big fundamental parts of those movies. And suddenly this movie, we don't need it. Suddenly gone. So, it was kind of weird. Both Snoke go, and that other thing to live. So, Snoke's dead. Now his ship is crashed. Holdo maneuver saves Finn and Rose, as you said, and they fucking fight and stuff with Phasma. After they kill all of Snoke's police guards, Rey says, "Kylo, we gotta save the resistance, man. We gotta shut these ships down before fucking Snoke ship gets smoked down." You can see all of a sudden he's like, "No, I don't want to do that." He's like, "Let me die. Let the resistance die. Fuck our families. Fuck everything else." He's going, "It's just you and me. Like, we can we'll rebuild the galaxy together as father and son." It's that kind of moment where he's like, "Fuck all this. Let's go and do it." And then, you know, she's like, "Oh, please don't do it." It's a really nice moment for Daisy. She's like, she had a friend, and for a moment, somebody who understands her. She wasn't alone in this fucking world. And, you know, he saved her life. She saved his life. And then all of a sudden, she sees no good. So, you know, he starts fucking telling her, "Come on, man. She's like, "Please don't make me lose." And they wind up fighting each other. Skywalker's lightsaber, very simple. And the whole thing. It was cool. I like that. So you're like, all right, so they start fucking fighting. It ends in a big explosion. They're fighting for that lightsaber. So Hux comes in the room later on where they were fighting in the Emperor's chamber. He sees so he has a moment. It was a really cool moment, man, where they were gonna let the Weasley brother fucking kill. But instead, Kylo Ren wakes up. He's like, "Where is she? Where's Rey?" And he's like, "She took Snoke's escape ship and fucked off." And he's like, "Oh, we're going to Crate. We know where they're fucking going. Crate and Barrel. We're going down to the fucking planet. We're gonna kill these fucking rebels for once and for all. Resistance, sorry. Once and for all, I'm fucking going down there. Like, we're all going. Let's go. And, you know, Hux is like, hey man, our boss is dead. Like, that's it. I was in it for him. There's no shit. Boy, like, rests against the wall. Chokes him. Suddenly, he's in charge. Suddenly, the new Supreme Leader is Kylo Ren. No longer Snoke. So, what happened? Hux is all, Hux, you know, fucking after the boss moment, Kylo Ren's like, we're going down and fucking kill resistance. This is fucking insanely satisfying. Wow, what a fucking I didn't see no gorilla walk. I didn't see that map with all the red stripes and shit. Wait, I didn't realize that. Not bad, but just like, yeah, a lot of fucking story. You know, remembering the only thing. So at any point, at any event, I'm great for resistance sets up shop in old first order ship bases at the base, followed by attacking TIE fighters. Those really rose and Finn and BB-8. They escaped, you know, from the fucking first order. In a you know, what looks like in any event, they fucking get through the front doors, and you know, everyone's like, kill them, and they're like, no, it's us, don't shoot. And so they're like, all right, man, get ready, because shit's about to happen. And you know, Leia's looking out. Somebody's looking out.
Damn it!
She's looking out. Then they realize that the first order's landed. They got walkers. They got these big ass gorilla walkers. Then they also have setting up this thing. Battering ram. They describe it as miniaturized Death Star technology, proving once again these movies cannot get the fuck away from the Death Star. Even if it's not in them. This is just like the Death Star. So, Resistance gets any ships they have together, and there's mostly these crop dusting ships and shit for crate assault. Very visually stunning. So they send these fighters out to take on the guerrilla walkers to take out the battering ram camp. And you know, they're getting killed. They're not even fighters yet. Instead, fucking Falcon gets out, it comes in and says, just like, you know, Han Solo at the end of Star Wars, we're clear, kid, now let's blow this thing out here. Rey and Chewie take the TIE fighters, lead the TIE fighters off in the Falcon, which gives the guys on the ground, which is like Poe and Rose and Finn and the rest of the Resistance, chance to get in at those guns. They get picked off up the gun. And so Poe's like, we ain't gonna do it, we can't do it. And now it's Finn's turn to be Poe, where he's like, we're doing it, I'm too close. And he hates the fucking First Order because he wasn't going to stop this shit. And he's like, Poe, stop it. Finn, don't fucking do this. And Finn is just racing at that fucking gun, man. And then you like the shit behind him. Instead, at the last second, blows the ship. Bam! Blasts his ship out of the way before it blows up into the eye of the ship. He gets out of the ship and comes over there. And why did you stop me? And she has like beautiful moments in the movie, and probably one of the takedowns or rationales behind, or the logic behind war. And I thought it was eloquent. She says, she goes, I saved you. He goes, why'd you stop me? And she goes, I saved you. And she says, that's how we're going to win. Not by fighting. I saved you. Simple sentiment. Beautifully stated, beautifully acted. I cried during that. again, Star Wars, so it's like we come to watch the world. These characters in the movie, like, we can watch this shit. It's horrible. But we're going to do it. Really, really fucking. Okay. The Resistance set out to stress ball. Nobody's fucking coming. All these years, they're going to die on something. Not many left. They're all getting picked off in space. Like, it looks like. So even though Leia's alone, then it happens, dude. We waited the whole fucking movie for this, but Luke shows up. The Resistance sent out the stress signal. Nobody's coming. Luke shows up. Luke and Leia have this emotional reunion. It's another of the best scenes in the movie for me because there they are, man. There's the original 2 Star Warriors together, man. Again, he changed the course of his destiny for this woman years back. He saw a little video of her and he's like, I'm gonna change my whole fucking life to join this fight. You know, part of it was like she's pretty and they got up there. Now he's gonna give her he sits down, he talks to her about fucking, you know, hey man, how you been? And she's like, you know, she's like, I changed my hair. He's like, I know. And then he gives her Han Solo's space dice, used to hang in the fucking fountain. And he says, you know, nobody's ever really gone because he hasn't really talked to her about stuff like that. And he's been disconnected from the Force. That's why maybe he don't know that. But he gives these guys, they have this kind of really you know, the only thing is like, of course, more scenes with Harry and Mark. So he gets up and heads up. Is he gonna do it? What he said he wouldn't do is this could be the greatest moment in cinema fucking history. Walks out, everyone loves an R2D2. Really fucking fucks them. So it winks at 3D. That's all 3D. R2 gets like for a moment, I wrote, this is one of the most powerful images of any Star Wars. Man, what's the one? As he faces down a slew of walkers and giant space. Are you kidding me? There's a moment that becomes instantly legendary. It's almost instantly legendary as when the Darth Vader minute at the end of the It sums up everything we've always thought about Star Wars as kids. Luke Skywalker against all the fucking and there it is, summed up in one beautiful. So fucking Emo Ren is like, I want every gun pointed at that fucking man. Fire. They open fucking fire. It's fucking glorious because you know what's gonna happen. I don't care if you've never seen a movie before in your life. You know what's gonna happen. Fucking smoke waves and shooting stops. Bam! Unscathed foe. Gives you one of these.
Jesus!
Glorious! Glorious! It was fantastic. Drop me down to the planet myself. And I'm like, we're gonna have a fucking old-timey fight. Just like Ben Kenobi fucking fought Darth Vader and shit. Luke Skywalker, old-timey Grizzly Island Luke Skywalker gonna fight young Darth Vader, new Vader, Kylo Ren, Darth Poser. So we're gonna get we're gonna see one fucking with a lightsaber for the first time since fucking Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. He's gonna be holding a laser and fighting. So I was fucking ready. Ducks Kylo's attacking, talking to him. I'm gonna be with you forever, just like your father. And that man is like Han's gonna be a force ghost. We're gonna see it. Piece of shit. The other one's like, ah! He goes to attack him a few times, can't take a fucking beat. And then, all of a sudden, he fucking Kylo Ren. He goes to fucking run Luke through the lightsaber. He stabs fucking Luke through the heart. They're saying he's force casting, like astral projection to himself, across space and time into a field of wasn't there in the room with Leia. They revealed Luke hovering on the rock back on Skywalker. And he's, projecting himself across galaxies. It's just like, oh shit, he's just buying his time. He can't fucking defeat the First Order. He got it here. So there's got to be another way out. And he goes, hey, wait, where is all that shit? All the rocks and scatters. There's one, and he goes running. Back over his face. Apples are getting out. So Rey lands her ship, she can track it through she gets out and sees that the entryway or the exit is covered in fucking rocks. And there's one moment in training with Luke Skywalker where he's just like, the Force is not about like fucking moving rocks and shit like that. And so it's a sweet callback because she looks at all these rocks and she's like, the Force is not about moving rocks or something like that. And so, you realize, oh fuck, she's gonna move these fucking rocks. You're gonna see the full power of the fucking Force at her fingertips and shit. And sure enough, as Luke is talking to Kylo Ren in the battle before he reveals his Force ghost and shit, he's like, I'm not the last Jedi. And then we indicate that Rey's the last Jedi. She's fucking making all the rocks float and everybody's like, holy shit, and they all escape and get onto the Falcon. And that's when Luke says to Kylo Ren, see you around. Fucking Force fades out and shit. So we're going to see him as a Force ghost in this. He's going to play a role. I saw people online be like, he's not it. He literally says, see you around. So he'll be back. Meanwhile, they cut to Octo where Luke, fucking collapses after doing that. And remember, just like Kylo had told Rey, that's the galaxy. You try to force project yourself across the galaxy. It fucking destroys Luke Skywalker. And you can tell that he's dying and stuff, and he climbs up onto the rock. And they give Mark this kind of sweet, beautiful moment where I don't know if it's meant that the planet has twin suns or it's a reflection or something, but just like on Tatooine when he was a boy and he looked up in the sky and saw the twin suns and there's the sweeping John Williams cue. Pondering one's future. You don't have to be a boy who saw Star Wars in 1977. You can be anybody who's ever seen that movie or never seen that movie and know the feeling of looking up, looking out, looking somewhere and just going, where am I? Where do I fit in? When does my life begin? And here's the end of that. Like 40 years later, it's him going, I know where I've been. I know what I've done. I know who I am. Now more than ever, and I'm at peace. And I'm reconnected with the Force again. And maybe it's time. And he lets himself go. And just like how Yoda died and then disappeared and the blanket fell, Luke dies and they do like a dissolve and boom, the blanket fucking falls. Almost as if it was the 70s or 80s. Like you could have done a special effect where he like literally disappears, but they just kind of dissolve. It was classy. And that's it. Luke Skywalker fucking dies. Now, would I have done that? No. But I'm not saying it's wrong that they did it. I understand what they did. But I've been having discussions with people, and this is the one thing I stumble onto. Is there, and I can't, maybe I missed it, I saw it twice. Was there a reason he physically couldn't be there? Like maybe it was like he can't get there, the X-Wing, whatever. But if I was in charge, I would have sent him there. Like he would have been there in physical person. In that moment where all the fucking ships bear down and shoot him, they can't get him because he's a fucking Jedi Master. And he's just like, pew, 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 pew. I would have loved it if he deflected each shot into all the fucking walkers until everyone was fucking dead except him and Kylo Ren. And even if they had to have him die and he gets killed by Kylo Ren, man, at least we would have seen Master Jedi Master Luke Skywalker. This was our hero. We grew up with this kid. And to see him fucking just be like the equivalent of the Yoda fight in the prequels where Yoda takes on Dooku and you're like, holy fucking shit. Which I just realized now is a precursor to the Darth Vader 1 minute in Rogue One, man. We did see somebody cool go apeshit and be young with a lightsaber. Yoda, and then they did it for Darth Vader. Would have been awesome. Or in my version, that's what Luke Skywalker would have done. Not unhappy with the version I saw. It's just I wouldn't have done that. And I still don't understand why he couldn't leave. Maybe somebody knows, like, hey, there's a reason. He says, seeing if anybody knows. No, nobody. Nobody seems to have an answer. I thought maybe there was something in there. I thought he chose to join the Force for the next generation. Somebody suggested. I don't know. He's not. But anyway, Luke didn't die. Like, you know, as he tells us, nobody's ever really gone. He tells Leia. He just went one with the Force. You know, just like Ben Kenobi. He, you know, remember fucking Vader comes through. If you strike me down, I should become more powerful than you could possibly imagine. And he fucking goes to cut him, and then the robe drops, and then Vader, you know, puts his foot in the robe, going, where the fuck is his body? Ben Kenobi became one with the Force. You could do that if you're a Jedi Master, I'm told. I don't know for a fact. Yoda became one with the Force. Luke himself becomes one with the Force. But physically, he is no longer, so technically that is dead. But yes. So let's see. Where are we with this? Rey gets all the resistance onto the Falcon. They take off. Let me see. Leia and Rhea know Luke's gone. They both feel it. You know, they have a conversation where like, he's gone. She's like, I fucking know. He's my brother, you fool. And Luke tells, Leia, you know, Leia tells, let me see. He died. Oh, but Leia says, or Rey says, like, he died. I felt peace. Like, he was a sense of peace. Like, he wasn't even dying and fucking, you know, he got lightsabered in the head or cut in half like fucking Snoke and shit. He was just sitting on a rock. He was like, there's a little black spot on the suns today. And then he was just there. He wasn't there anymore. That was it. Kind of peaceful. Hey, man, if that's how I can go in this life, force, you know, fucking ghost me out of this fucking bitch. I don't want no pain. He didn't look like he didn't have any either. Rose is getting fixed up by the Resistance. Finn brought her in and stuff, so she's not dead. Rey finally meets Poe. Finn took her in. Did I say Finn before? I always confuse Finn and Poe. Poe meets Rey for the first time. They didn't meet each other in the last movie and shit like that. Rey, you know, on the crate reunites with Finn, and that was very sweet because they started this adventure kind of together. And so when she sees him and he sees her, they like genuinely have genuine affection for one another. Deep hug and shit. It was a really warm moment in the movie. In any event, everybody's now Princess Leia, General Leia Organa. They're all on the bridge of the fucking, or, you know, I guess the bridge, I don't know what you call it, of the Millennium Falcon. They're all on the Falcon together and shit. Living to fight another day. And, you know, talking about, like, the Resistance begins. Like, Luke said it. And he's just like, the fucking Resistance isn't dead. It's born anew today. As are the Jedi. For I won't be the last Jedi. And it's fucking Rey and shit. And they are the spark that will ignite the flame that will burn down the First Order. So they didn't kill him at all. The First Order drove him to the brink of non-existence. But they're like, there are others out there. Nobody answered our fucking beacon, jerks. But, like, you know, I feel it. There are people out there, man. Soon there will be an uprising and shit. And they could literally end on the Millennium Falcon with credits and shit. But instead, they go back to the Canto Bright planet. We're taking the Canto Bright where we see 3 kids, the stable kids, who when they let the horses out on Canto Bright, the stable kid at one point was like, I'm going to turn on the alarm. She's like, don't, man, we're with the rebels or the Resistance. And the kid shows he has a Resistance ring and shit. So it's reached out across the galaxy. Everyone hates the fucking First Order. But they're kids. They can't fucking do anything. Except in this instance, they don't fucking tell on the adults who then get away. So you cut back to the stables and you see the 3 kids playing Star Wars with off-brand Star Wars figures and shit. Not licensed. Off-brand. And like, and they're speaking a foreign language. Luke Skywalker. And, you know, you realize, oh, it was kind of moving. You're like, oh, shit. Like, look, these movies have to go somewhere. It can't always be like the Skywalker family and shit. They got to extend and expand the universe. So what they're saying is there are other Force sensitives out there. It's not just fucking Skywalkers and shit like that. And at one point when Kylo Ren is talking to Rey, he's just like, you know, you've always wondered about your past. I know about your past, and you've seen it too, and you know. You're not fucking related to anybody. Your parents were fucking junkies, junk dealers and shit like that. And they left you on that fucking planet. They're not coming back. You're not even a part of this. This is really bold. You're not a part of this story, he says. He says, you mean nothing to anybody. And he says, except to me. Like, you could genuinely tell he cares about her because they share power and shit like that. So, but then, you know, fucking things went south with them. But that was incredible. That, you know, another fuck you Force Awakens moment where you're like, who is Rey's parents? The lineage of Rey, the mystery box that is Rey, has now been solved. And it's like, Rey's just somebody, just like anybody else and shit like that. Not part of the Skywalker lineage, not Ben Kenobi's kid or whatever the fuck. force sensitive. Just like this kid at the end of the movie. You know, they're playing and shit, and then their boss comes in, big fucking creature, blah, and they fucking scatter. And the idea is like, go back to work. So the little boy goes outside, and there's a broom leaning on a wall, and he reaches for it, and the broom just goes into his hand. Not even big across the room, just very, like, a couple inches, boop, into his hand. But you're like, oh, this kid's fucking force sensitive. And he's sweeping on the ground, then he looks up at the stars, and he opens up his resistance ring and shit like that. And you close on that kid's face, the future. You know, the resistance goes on. He's not the spark. They were the spark, but they're going to ignite this fire. The only way you end on that movie with this fucking strange kid, I think, is that must be where Ryan's trilogy goes. It must be predicated on maybe that kid himself, and we're going to go off on that adventure. You know, because they said Ryan Johnson's going to do his own trilogy that's not part of the saga and has nothing to do with Skywalker's. So maybe that's it. He laid a pretty big seed for where he's taking it. Maybe we'll follow that boy on his adventure or something like that. So in any event, there it is, man. I saw the movie twice. First time, I was beside myself. I was like, oh, delighted. Second time I went back with Jay, enjoyed it very much, but that's when the fucking writer-director started kicking in. And that's not even writer-director, because I would never make a movie this good on any fucking level. Like, I like watching these movies. I could never make something like this. So that's not me going, I could do this shit better. But when I'm back the second time, like anybody else, I'm like, oh, well, now I can see the strings. And, like, it had never occurred to me in the first viewing that Luke literally could have been on Crate. He didn't have to force project himself. At first when I saw it, I was like, oh, right on. And when they revealed he ain't really there, I was like, huh, that's interesting. I wonder what I can do with that information. And then when I watched it the second time, I was like, man, I see no good reason why he literally couldn't been on that planet himself. Like, pew, 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 just fucking fighting shit off. So, that's my big critique. It's not even a critique. I enjoyed the shit out of this movie. I'll see it again. I'll be watching this movie until I die one day. But I would have had Luke be there, man. It was majestic standing there